Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of SKT versus G2 esports. SKT G2, while both up 1 game each, I can kind of really see why G2 took over the entire series. The way SKT wins the series is very mediocre, and I really hate their over prioritization of Renekton. I think the Renekton priority only makes sense when you can win the mid side too. It's just way too conditional. You need Renekton, you need at least Talia, you need to make sure you have a winning mid side so you can actually do the 3-man dives and the enemy mid laner can't prevent you from diving, especially when Caps is on a champion like Rise, then he can definitely prevent you from diving so easily. So yeah, I actually think it's really problematic for SKT in terms of how they're drafting, and I would love to see them put more priority on the Rise and kind of trade picks 1 for 2 when they're on red side, and on blue side just take away key picks from G2. Also, if they're having a huge problem regarding like the Xayah Kai'Sa trade, just ban Xayah, give them Kai'Sa, and play Varus or Yasuo yourself. I think that's the best way to go about it for SKT. Syndra first ban.
And have a very good strategy against it to crash a dive and kill them both at level 1. And then they tried the same thing this game, or sorry, in game 2, but the level 1 went to Rise. So then the question will be backstage, does G2 say, hey, we can't give them that in draft again, or we can't make that execution error again? And then the added wrinkle is we're switching back sides, so that situation may never arrive.
Could see though, if it rears his head again in this game 4. So far, blue side has been the choice.
Kiana ban.
All 3 of our games for team with side selection. It is the Syndra, it is the Kiana for SK Telecom.
Interestingly enough,
I would have really loved to see SKT play with Kiana. I feel like both Clit and Faker can play Kiana so well. It feels so weird for them to constantly ban Kiana.
Exactly the same bans as we've seen to this point as in game 1 when they were on the same sides. This is where it probably changes though, because SKT had a Quinn ban before.
Because G2 also banned Kiana versus Down 1. They had it permaban throughout the whole series, and for SKT to prioritize so much bans on Kiana.
A single ban may not seem like much, but it could be game defining, and most certainly will be draft defining.
It's a question of what do these teams want the game
Yasuo
to be
ban.
about. SKT doesn't want this one to be about the Yasuo.
And of course, last time in the previous game, we did see both the Xayah as well as the Kai'Sa banned away, so they may be looking for a more conventional bot lane matchup in this series. G2 could ban away one of those premier picks.
Do they ban the Renekton, or do they ban the Rise?
When's the last time we've seen G2 and SKT ban this slowly?
Yeah.
They are working through the possibilities live and going
Oh,
down.
G2 missing a ban?
0-0
Rakan ban.
Okay, so
first pick Rise, not Renekton. Not Renekton.
Oh, because now they're forcing G2 to go, okay, now you have to play Renekton because we don't think you want
Finally.
to play Renekton, G2 esports.
And they'll do Xayah here. And then
they'll either do Xayah Renekton or they'll do... but you could just do Renekton Elise right now. You could do Renekton Elise. Like, it's such a strong duo. It would guarantee you a strong top side of the map. Oh, but of course the Quinn is open. So they're just like...
the Gragas. There's so much available.
So you can't just blind pick the Renekton. Damn.
This is really
This has to be Elise. G2 value Elise too much.
Once again, we're just counting
If
down.
G2 doesn't take Elise here,
It looks like bot lane.
Renekton Elise, SKT play top side. Finally, actually a good Renekton situation. Renekton Elise. Renekton Elise, finally a good Renekton situation.
Priority will be the name of the game. They want to make sure Perks and Mickey are set up for success.
They spend all their draft bucks on the bottom lane. Those are the priority picks they
Renekton
are
Elise.
choosing because now they've blocked
Renekton Elise.
It's now also
I think it's fine even if
Nautilus
Quinn is
that's what
open.
SKT wants to go for, or they'd have to go into a more
Shit.
passive bottom
The
lane
Leona,
like
it
an
could just
Ezreal.
be Kai'Sa Leona again.
Likely, or right with Renekton's.
I talked about how much I hate Ezreal, but there's one Ezreal player left in the tournament that I actually think is a decent Ezreal player. So I actually think it would have been fine for SKT to go Renekton Elise here and deny or let Teddy pick later after he takes the bans.
Still up if they don't think G2 can counter. Do they want this game to again be about the Renekton because they have an option to do really anything they want?
I feel like they'll do the Leona now. I think they want to guarantee themselves at the very least an even bot lane, and with the Renekton and the Quinn and all these things still up and available.
Maybe they do a jungler here.
If G2 bans Varus Ezreal, what does he pick? Then he picks Kai'Sa.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, early
There are
Renekton.
so many mind games.
SKT so unwilling to take Renekton and leave, and they've been prioritizing Renekton the entire fucking series. What the fuck is this read on the draft? Why not do Renekton Elise? Oh my god, this is the one chance where you actually can play Elise.
Going on, it's just like, but you, but I, but you, but I, but you, but I.
With the Gragas Elise open,
I don't think Quinn's that big of a problem when you have Ryze, and you can get 3-man roams consistently.
That is the biggest surprise we've actually had in draft all series.
The advantage for me of this is that G2 don't have to lock their jungler in now. They could just grab themselves the Renekton.
There's that Elise.
I don't want to play it. I don't want to play it. They're going to grab the Elise instead. Would rather have their pick of the remaining junglers. Of course, with Elise and Gragas still up, they could have waited to pick, but have opted to secure the Elise early.
So, the position that SKT are now in is they could
G2 ban supports
Renekton and say, go on then, pick
ban it.
Because if you're not going to pick it, then we'll pick it, and we know all the counters are gone. Ooh. So, the choice is up to you. And what's interesting is G2 are now banning some of the Renekton counter picks away as well.
And I think another big question is, what is G2's response to Ryze? Because they have been the ones that have been able to control the Ryze pick for.
Ooh, that's actually a really interesting debate. What's G2's pick into Ryze?
I'm fascinated by what Cass is going to be able
Cassio,
to do.
Veigar.
That's where the counter picks really become a big question. We know
Syndra's banned.
Cassiopeia would beat it. We know going back to play-in, your boy from Detonation Focus Me thought Nocturne beat
Ori.
it. I don't think we're going to see that.
Ori's a very team fight counter.
Are endless.
And once again, this
Ori's
is
a lane counter into team fight counter.
Spammed in solo queue over the last few days, so there could be a litany of pre-prepared practice picks that could come through.
Jax, Kled. They're thinking Kled. Those are the two picks that you would most commonly pick into the Kled.
Jax,
so they want to
Fiora.
blind pick it right now. That has to be their focus.
They're protecting top lane ban for something.
They're saying, okay, you have to find some kind of counter pick to my Kled. At least these are the bans that. This is what they did against Fnatic when they played against
Kled.
SKT spotted out. They say, we see what you're going for. We will take the Kled away.
Camille. Camille Elise. Oof.
Those are other
spicy, yes.
Wow. So now we're getting to see Wonder on the hard carry. We have not seen this for a while, but if we think back to
Wonder's been playing kind of like supportive role-playing champions like Ornn and Kled. This is the first time when he's on a true carry this series. And they have the Elise Camille going also.
MSI earlier in the year, this was one of his most well-known picks. This is something that he generated a huge amount of pressure in the side lane on, but of course SKT more than happy to play Renekton into that. Yes, Camille can play pretty safe. You can do things like the Comet, and you can just harass
Interior
the
Crocodile.
laning phase, but eventually you will outscale.
And the Elise Camille duo is still one that has to be respected, but now it will be the Leona
Leo.
as predicted earlier in the
Leo
draft
into Nautilus.
Teddy's Kaisa. The question is, this is what we get to see finally. What is the answer to this Ryze pick?
I mean,
Faker's Ryze.
The interesting thing is the
Veigar,
Ryze and Renekton are both flexible.
No way.
Veigar into Rek'Sai, Veigar into Renekton, Veigar into Kaisa even, Veigar into Ryze. Veigar is so good here.
To do it?
They could. There's a lot of dashes on the SKT team. Do it. Do it, G2. They're not doing it.
That's not the, that's kind of
Ori.
yeah.
Ori's such a boring counter
I'm
into
not gonna say
Ryze.
it's the coward's way out, but the Veigar
It is the coward's way out.
So Orianna is of course still a very good matchup.
G2 took another very teamfight focused
it just
draft.
gives you a little bit more power in the laning phase early.
This time in their teamfight focused draft, they have very little tanks and a lot of damage dealers. It's not two big boys. It's a lot of medium-sized boys.
And it makes it harder for Faker to be able to roam. So it's understandable because of course
Like the last games it's been about two champions, like Ryze Ezreal, Ryze Xayah. Now it's about like 4 champions. Xayah, Elise, Ori, Camille.
But I think
Much
that
more well
coming
balanced.
into this game, G2's focus will likely be to play through the bot side of the map.
Wow, chat today is so good about guessing picks. It's like they watched this draft before.
You're just hoping to allow him to
Fucking
survive.
amazing.
Whereas Perks and Mickey can easily find 2v2 kills, and I think they're going to be looking to work with Jankos to try and find those advantages.
I agree with that. I also think, as far as the tournament meta, SKT has way more of the meta comp.
Well,
for sure.
I'm very curious how
as your carry threat,
SKT plays Ryze on their end.
to work. The
If they can be good on Ryze,
combo,
then
not as much.
it's gonna
Not to say
be
G2
it's gonna
can't do
shift
it, but
pick
they are
and ban.
definitely the ones that are forced to reach back a bit more
Like the
in this game 3 draft.
next pick and ban, and the
Ready
Ryze
for
party is gonna
game
shoot
3.
through the
My question
roof.
to both of you is, take the nameplates off. Who do you think came out on top in this draft?
I personally think SKT did.
Yep.
Because I
so
think
too.
that they have way more early game agency. I think the bot lane matchup is very fine.
SKT, if they can win this game a little bit faster and also show really good performance from Ryze, is what gives them control over the series.
Mid agency. So the mid jungle duo is the most important thing, and I think SKT have the stronger mid jungle.
And now it's going to come down to execution. Here we are, tied 1-1. Who will move up to match point as we get into Game 3, SK Telecom T1 versus G2 Esports for a spot in the final versus Fun plus Phoenix.
Now, the second that we got into game, Teddy spammed that Cleanse was on perks. They're recognizing
Cleanse on perks and caps.
For more of the defensive summoner spell this time.
Leo Rise.
You want to be able to break out of the crowd control. That, to be fair, there's a lot of single target crowd control that comes out from SKT, and it gives you a little bit more lane safety as well.
And it's a teleport disadvantage for G2. So the way we saw the first 2 games play out was a battle for map pressure that G2 was fighting, and then SKT was fighting to corral them and get team fight priority.
That's not normal.
In specific spots.
Ori is almost like 100% Ares.
Reverse a bit here if Faker commits.
Maybe Spellbook because he has Cleanse.
Because they have the TP advantage, they have the Realm Warp advantage, and it's going to be very interesting to track how Caps can roam on a Cleanse Orianna.
Phase Rush?
Advantage that Caps
I think Phase Rush is kind of troll on Ori. We'll see.
Which means that he will be able to get 1 teleport.
Actually, he has teleport.
Well, he gets 1, right? So it's not something that he's going to have at all points.
I personally go Harry.
He decides to pivot over to that. But you're 100% right, Jack, in that for the majority of this game, Faker and Khan can be generating pressure on a side lane. But I think that with their comp, they shouldn't be too afraid to force team fights either.
Alright, let's see how this game plays.
Strong. They have a very solid mid-game spike, and I think that Teddy,
Rek'Sai with blue
of
start.
the Yona ultimate, could quite easily one-shot this Orianna if she does not position properly. So I think the biggest thing SKT have to be careful of is Wonder on this Camille. I think that he's going to be the biggest side lane threat that will be the hardest for SKT.
Camille's actually a disgusting champion when it comes to trade level 1. As I say that, she loses the trade. But Camille's one of the few champions where it feels like she has 2 skills at level 1 due to how strong the passive is. Auto someone, get a shield.
Made by G2 on the duo of Teddy and Effort.
And I love the quick trades that we're seeing on the bottom side for SKT. That's a fast level 2.
Khan early level 2.
Side, Wonder
good trade.
Back off in that trade.
And I think it comes down to a larger question of, is SKT playing through their priority, or are they playing through G2's priority, or to prevent it? And the Clid path...
This Camille actually getting shit on level 1 and 2.
To prevent G2's priority. They're saying
back to
they used their first 2 picks on the Xayah Nautilus, and then they also picked the Elise early. They very much want to be able to play through this bottom side, and they want to withstand whatever assault SKT can throw out in the solo lanes.
And it's difficult, because we saw before the Nico answer coming in for Faker up against the Rise, how it came down to a single ultimate. If you found 5 people, it would have been a game win for SKT. He could not. And now it's a similar story for Caps. So we see the setup for the gank on the bottom side. Teddy just going to pull back, though. They should be fine as Jankos wants to move in. Dive comes in from Khan. It's going to be big. Wonder still alive. First blood.
Oh my god. This is so bad. Wow, lucky they're getting a return kill here, because that top play was atrocious. That is a back to one.
Ooh, good job. And then is just completely caught off guard. There's no reason for Effort to actually be sitting up that far when the wave is going to crash anyway. So G2 get one back after Khan gets the solo kill.
Khan just seems to be ramping up in this series. In game 1, sure, his Renekton was not that impactful. Game 2, his team fight presence was definitely known, and he had some pretty great plays in a side lane. Now in game 3, already finding a solo kill onto Wonder, and he's just been taking so many favorable trades early on. Wonder burns the shield early, which means that when Khan comes for the dive, he's able to just melt through his HP bar, and if it weren't
he has flash too. Holy.
Khan would have lost his life.
Just fantastic play on the top side. I thought for certain Khan was dead, but manages to come out on top. And Wonder's going to be miserable in this lane now. The Cole from Khan is a bit of a reprieve, in that it's less of an aggressive item than, say, an early longsword, but it does mean that
if he flashed the other direction for 1-for-1.
Now Perks has been locked out. It's going to be big damage.
Even if it's a 1-for-1, he loses so much CS. Oh my god.
One more kill. Khan gets yet another top side kill.
Damn, there's a giant hole top side.
Actually, it looks like the wave's not freezing.
Oh my
it
god.
could actually be way worse.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there was a chance for them to freeze that wave.
Damn,
or
this
if
is
they
where I would
pushed
have
it
blamed
out of
jungle.
Choice. I wouldn't think they'd push it out of choice, though, because that could have been the end of the game if the wave was positioned to freeze.
Yeah, I'm in complete alignment with you, Jack, because I think what they could have done is they could have actually had the wave pushing towards Khan and then just stopped it. And then Wonder can never approach that wave because already in the 1v1 he's losing, and
So good for Wonder that they didn't freeze top 2. They could have frozen it and that would have been even worse.
To see from SKT, playing towards the strong side of the map, trying to shut the Camille down so that she gets to that strong side lane point much later in the game. Now we see Jankos in mid lane, boots already completed, looking for a play, but Faker, respecting he has no mana, gonna disengage.
Mickey there as well, spotted that one out. There's been a lot of roams mid from Mickey. Faker giving them the respect that they deserve. He backs completely out of mana, and we look back at this one, Wonder too confident. Already a level deficit, and an easy dash in, flash for the stun. Oh. It doesn't hit the wall.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. I think they can kill this without touching these creeps. The wave is frozen towards them. They definitely could have froze this.
Ball. Misplay by Wonder, and it.
Stop! 5 creeps. Freeze, kill Wonder second time. They just recall here and they can kill Wonder again.
I'm just trying to look at that wave with the aggro that was on them. I don't.
Oh, they could have froze.
So that's a pro view look back, but you
that's a
can
freeze.
See
That's a freeze, Jack.
From Ossel out there, knowing how big it is to die, teleport back, die again, and be up against a Renekton in that matchup.
And now look at the positioning of Elise. Bot side camps are up, but hanging around the top side to avoid any other potential dives.
They can turn it.
But Khan's gonna hit level 6 suit. Oh, actually,
he won't. He won't hit 6 in time. They can turn it.
Shot wall dive. Adaptive defenses have come out. Khan slowed down. The
oh!
He will manage to hit the cocoon even as the dash away comes out, but Khan with so much healing coming in from the Conqueror. Is he going to be able to escape from this one? Wonder wants to finish off the kill desperately.
Oh.
He will get the shutdown.
God, he almost... Why didn't you just freeze the wave? Why didn't you just freeze the wave? Oh my god. Imagine they froze the wave.
Alive for G2.
So
Fuck.
Huge that they get that kill onto Wonder. He's actually back in the game now. That is something that a 2-0 Renekton.
Oh, they freeze the wave. They get Earthstrike for free. No.
Doesn't stay to play the game through topside, instead trying to help out bot a little bit. Yes, they get.
I'm just very disappointed at the subpar level of play shown.
The response from SKT very good.
You guys know I'm European, right?
Bot lane anyway because Clid wanted to clear out his
My actual name is Yunsub Smith.
Secure the mountain, but on top of that, they completely zoned Perks and Mickey away from an entire wave of farm because Faker had Prio in mid. It meant that they could have collapsed as a 4-man, and Perks has no summoner spells. So SKT, even with the loss on top side, still generating a lot of pressure on the other side of the map.
Clid in the mid lane. Jankos level 5 to the level 6 of Clid.
You want his name Smith in Europe?
He can throw a Price Seeker over the wall if he wants. It pulls him back. They immediately go all in on Faker.
My name is actually John Schneider.
Price Seeker over the
John
wall
Schneider.
Level 5 to the level 6 of Clid.
Oh, they saw this too. Faker should have seen this. A small ripple.
It's a great roam by Wonder.
Wait! You saw the ripple and you still walked up. Wait, you didn't flash the ult!
Faker and Clid is left sitting underground as his mid laner drops.
Yeah, the Tremor Sense told them one person was there, which didn't mean Faker immediately
oh my god.
needed to flash the shockwave.
Faker's a boomer.
Well,
that's some boomer playing.
To fully commit, but
wait, oh my, that death was so bad.
And it was Wonder that also picked up the kill, which is really important in the context of the top lane matchup because what SKT want to do is mitigate this split pusher.
Oh, Khan, E!
Now,
Ah!
Jankos with a beautiful cocoon sets up the play onto Khan. It almost looks like he's going to get away, but the last hit does come in.
Fuck!
Wonder the moment Khan tries to take that small pivot turn, and he finds a kill. 2 now is in the back pocket of Wonder. He's working towards getting to a point where he can outduel and outscale Khan in the side lane. You can
Jesus
see
Christ.
200 gold gap.
Oh, if Khan doesn't die there, if Faker doesn't die there. Damn, Jankos is keeping this team alive.
Silently winning.
These ganks are keeping G2 so alive. Holy shit.
Having a very good lane phase up against Perks' Xayah. We heard from Frost yesterday on cooldown. Considers Perks the best Xayah player at Worlds, best Xayah player in the world, and now has to deal with Teddy, who has been having a fantastic series following that Yasuo game.
Yeah, I really want to reinforce that because a lot of the hype and excitement was surrounding Perks coming into the semi-final, but Teddy was like this steady rock that kind of just sat in the backline and very much did his job. And the conversation we were having earlier in the week, Jack, was how G2 play very differently around Perks compared to how SKT play around Teddy. That's not to say they can't play that way around Teddy. And when they do, he is a devastating force to deal with. And for SKT. They haven't needed to so far because he's just been doing so well in the 2v2.
But they're playing around him right now. You can see Clid and Faker getting river control with the Rise. This is what everyone does with the Rise pick, and they threaten Perks and Mickey. But
constant roams. Rise has to constantly threaten roams top and bottom.
Mid instead. It doesn't look like much is working for this SKT play.
What is this play?
Trying to box them in.
What?
The Elise comes up. They should still be able to grab the kill on the Yankos.
What the fuck was that play?
SKT play, but they're going.
Oh my god.
Trying to box him in. The flash in. The Elise comes up. They should still be able to grab the kill on the Yankos. He's going to be able to pick off. Zenith Blade missing there from effort. A lot of time wasted for SKT.
And a flash from Faker. A huge force attempt there by SKT where they actually... They had the opportunity to create bottom lane pressure. They could have had probably 2 plates for free when they had 2 people roamed into the jungle, but they tried the switcheroo, the mind game, and it completely fails.
And now
wow, what the happened to bigger the stage, bigger the Faker?
In the solo lanes, winning on the bot
or
side
bigger the stage, better the Faker.
Very close game.
A very famous and well-knowledged analyst said that on a very important talk show.
Are we surprised that it's close? So far,
well, but the last 2 play has been really bad from Faker in terms of like how much impact he could have and how little he did.
But this series, the gold difference has always been like 100 gold once you hit the 15-minute mark because of how often these teams just trade kills, objectives, everything.
But who wins if no one wins the early game? What happens then?
Jesus.
We get a great series. It's actually the answer.
Full trade on the top side. Khan coming out on top though. That Conqueror plus the stain on the Cold Amik makes it very hard for
Khan and Faker switch powers.
Now the flash Faker.
Wait, also why is Mickey coming from left side?
Pull back. They know Faker doesn't have a flash. It's going to cost a TP though. Flash in. They're going to
there
kill
we go.
Yankos.
That's a kill.
There's no camp there. He can't come
no
down.
race,
Yankos gets locked up.
Why didn't? How the fuck did Mickey get here to even gank from left side?
Full trade on the top
okay,
side.
he went straight to mid and then looped left.
Stain on the Cold Amik makes it very hard for Wonder to win. Now the
flash hook. That was actually so nice.
It's a lot of CC, it's a lot of damage, but they're now going to need to pull back. They know Faker doesn't have a flash. It's going to cost a
good
TP,
reply from other people though.
They're going to kill Yankos. Goes up. There's no camp there. He can't come down. Yankos gets locked up. Faker's going to grab the kill.
So that 4-man roam worked for the rest of SKT, even though it was G2 who ended up forcing. Strangely enough, Betty, this series, we prophesized that it was going to be about mid laners leaving. This game is about everyone going mid.
Yes, it certainly is. And now Khan has found Wonder. He wants to continue trading. He knows he's
top lane's still so brutal.
He's forcing him.
Man, this game should have been about SKT just diving top lane over and over again.
That was the biggest thing that forced
Khan fucking up his freeze and Faker not playing cleanly prevented that completely.
Just going to disengage, but now SKT actually have a very solid early game advantage. They now have about a 1k gold lead. A lot of the gold.
There's so much gold on Kai'Sa though. She's been laning 1v1 versus Xayah, been able to push, got 3 plating. Yeah. Good call, Jack.
Based on the early game, we might have thought top, but based on how many plates he's got,
flash hook.
As Mickey does tag Faker,
that actually could have been so
they don't
dangerous.
Actually have the full burst combo just with Elise and Nautilus, and good job by Clid to just flash in there for the execute damage, and a little bit fortunate that the Raptor camp was down, otherwise he would have been able to get away. Ooh, they just get an Inferno.
Okay, but it looks like it's going to be a trade of an objective. Of course, Khan with pressure still on the top side means Clid should be able to walk in, fight for that one. Not ideal to give up the Infernal to this composition.
I like that SKT have actually moved their duo into mid lane rather than just doing a full-on swap. They know that Khan is still winning in the 1v1 and they want to keep that setup, but they also need Teddy and Effort nearby in the event that G2 tried to contest this Herald.
Wow.
So they've sent Faker bot. He has the
one thing that changed so much
onto the top lane
with like teams that are proactive is Herald doesn't feel that useful. Whenever, like, it feels like in NA, when teams get Herald, it's like, oh, we're going to do a Herald play. The enemy team's not going to do anything. But in World Stage, where teams are so proactive, like, it takes time to kind of set up to take Herald and do a Herald play. So teams are so good about, okay, you're going to do a Herald play, we're going to go take Dragon and do another thing while you are doing that Herald play.
And they can use this to secure the first tower of the game. G2 need to respond by trying.
Like it feels like, oh look, SKT is using Herald top, and G2 is just gonna get just as much done on other sides of the map.
Last time he got tower dive, this game is not interested in sticking around, and it looks like for SKT, very clear where they want to put their resources. Jet, you mentioned it earlier, but Teddy is getting everything.
Yeah, they're giving him total solo gold on this first turret, but the big question to me will be, how does SKT match the rest of the map? Because they should know that G2 is setting up to also try and trade the
Herald,
turret.
G2 got bot turret.
SKT just goes for Wonder.
Hookshot wall dive will be the ult out from Effort.
SKT
Teddy continuing to push
slightly ahead in tempo of the play, but it doesn't feel that great.
Careful here, Yanko's on the way in as well. Tactical sweep will not connect onto Teddy. They will be able to clear this one out, but a lot of gold into Teddy's back pocket. Should already have the Q evolve on the side of the Kai'Sa. It is building towards that Rage Blade and eventually the Supercharger as well.
Now Perkz being left in isolation in the bot lane means that he will
Perkz got to catch up a lot.
take this tower down, and SKT shouldn't be able to answer, but they did push in mid. Ooh.
Well, actually, SKT got so ahead from this. Perkz did get 4 plating, but he wasn't able to get turret.
He's just gonna be able to walk up. Of course, Perkz not with a ton of mana, has the cleanse, which makes him a little bit more comfortable, but can't really actually force a fight, but does have the necessary tools to retreat.
I mean, G2 did manage to get a good number of plates off of that. You can see the gold still only 1,000 strong, and SKT a little bit behind on trying to get pressure around this bottom turret. Looks like they're going to rotate in time, though.
But Teddy is now here,
more
along with Klid.
But they did lose the Inferno forward. You guys are right. That does kind of even up the trade a little bit more.
So it's not likely that they'll try and force this, but at the very least, they stop G2 from claiming any kind of map pressure, and if they want, they can even rotate to mid, push that wave in, and start getting a little bit more deep vision, because Kiana can also rotate.
Oh, this game's gonna open up on the next dragon.
You can see 8 turret plates to 5. Of course, still, as you mentioned,
both teams kind of ramping up to it. Kai'Sa waiting for items, Ryze waiting for items. G2 also probably feels like they outscale with Ori, Xayah, Camille.
Wanting to overforce for an objective, just very similar to game 1.
It's actually been relatively slow compared to the other 2 games.
But G2 do not have an option to trade here.
Gotta run Effort.
Yeah,
had to flash immediately.
Try to deny the play.
Yeah, Effort looks scattered to me though. He's had a few ultimates where his team never would have been able to follow up. He just there, instead of walking through the turret while his team could roam, he actually ruins the blast cone himself and then flashes over. So G2 I think should look to attack this, and it's strange to watch this game actually, because oftentimes in best of 5s, the first game is where we see the jitters, and then the teams settle coming into games 2 and 3. It feels the opposite here. It feels like games 1 and 2 were super great in terms of quality, and this game, there's a little bit of indecision and jitters.
It's Khan pushing on the top side against the 4 members of G2.
Really good call by Jet. That's exactly what it feels like. This feels like a game 1. So much slow play and so much people making mistakes.
We'll be able to keep the tower alive for now. The tactical sweep healing him up. Probably still cannot win the 1v1, but can just clear out the waves. Both top laners with the team at.
What I liked about what G2 just did was they actually held Wonder mid lane so that SKT couldn't be threatening 2 waves. This wave is going to come very delayed, which means G2 can answer, and all they had to defend was the top tier 2. Because they ended up being able to respond in time, G2 actually keep all of their towers alive, and now SKT is forced to reset. The Dragon will be the next big point of contention.
Yeah.
Teddy has to make a decision. Does he want to reset now, or does he want to make a play for the bot tower? I agree with the choice to reset. Spend the gold. If the Rage Blade is ready to be completed, finish that one off so that when the Mountain Dragon spawns, you're in a position to fight.
Exactly. If we want to forecast beyond just the next 45 seconds of Mountain Drake and think about what happens in 10 or 15 minutes, the second Mountain Drake or the first Mountain Drake for G2 are massively important. A Kai'Sa with 2 mountains melts Baron so incredibly quickly.
I mean, she doesn't without them, mate.
Yeah. One mountain does something. 2 mountain is incredible. If G2 gets a mountain, they also get a higher amount of...
Here, I mean, what Jad's saying is correct regarding 2 mountains being really important, but the other thing is denying a team mountain is really important. So both teams are going to ramp up so hard for this dragon.
Threat, even if their composition isn't necessarily designed for it.
Yeah, between the Ryze and the Kai'Sa, the sustained damage is incredible from the side of SKT. Now the good news for G2 is that Teddy is still a long way off of fully stacking that tier, only about 450. It's going to make him even more lethal.
Big fight coming up.
Having double evolve pretty early on for SKT is going to make their fights very, very potent.
So I really do think G2 trying to force a fight here would be a bad decision. The better choice for them is actually to play for mid tower. Because of how strong Khan is at this point in the game, with a fully completed Black Cleaver, a 5v5 I really think would go in SKT.
Oh.
They're going to pick one anyway. Knockup's going to come out.
Okay, not bad.
Phase rushing away. The
Not lethal.
comes through. Yanko's burning his flash for that, trading with Clid. And now
Winning
Wonder's
top
trouble.
side also.
Khan knows that he's isolated. Hookshot, wall dive out to safety.
Oh,
Stun still connects.
that's so. Did you guys see that?
Now Wonder's in trouble. Khan knows that he's isolated.
He's stunning and also like walking away.
Wall dive out to safety. Stun still connects.
Wait a minute.
That's a forgiving stun.
Well, isn't that interaction
He might
just
want to go
coded?
flash for flash. He has ultimate as well if he wants to reset.
Fine, that's a stun. Big ulti now going to come out trying to cancel a few animations. Hextech ultimate.
Flash Q.
Tax
Oh!
to take him away. Khan will get nothing. Keeps
Wait!
animations. Hextech ult.
Flash! Flash the W and kill him. You have above 1k health. What are you doing?
Made him. Tax sweep to take him away. Khan will get nothing. But keeps his flash. Trading it for Wonder.
Well, here.
TP. Hook.
Shockwave. Blind shockwave.
Yo, they're going to get him. Khan locked up. He's trying to get something back. A beautiful pick from G2.
And ultimately, G2 knew that they could not fight for the Drake as long as Khan was in a position to TP. The moment Khan realized G2 had used a lot of their engage tools, largely from Mickey, then Khan knew rather that he could go for that all-in 1v1. What he didn't realize was the positioning of G2 and how they could answer.
And a fantastic 1v1.
Can we get back to 2014, 2015 where Koreans won everything?
Cost him his life is brutal. Good news is Faker is on the bottom side. He does respond with the tower as
Ugh.
SKT hold on to their 1k gold lead as well as securing the mountain.
So SKT is still in a very favorable position. At this point in the game, to me, they feel a lot stronger. Teddy has a level advantage over Perks. He has 2 items completed. The Rod of Aces has started stacking, and Faker is going to be working towards his Archangel staff.
SKT still has double mountain, so their Baron threat is huge. Ryze and Kaisa, they will melt Baron like ice cream.
Avoid fighting for now. That's not to say they won't want to fight a little bit later, but a lot of the, in my opinion, the biggest win condition is Wonder on a side lane. So they just need to keep getting resources funneled into him. They need to get more items completed on him. And they need to get him to a point where he can duel Khan to split SKT.
And with the way the level 3 top lane turret dive went, followed up by the return gank from Clid, Wonder should be actually happy in context about his decision where he is right now. And in the larger picture of the game, Faker is probably
Ryze and Kaisa, these are probably one of the 2 best champions in the meta at melting Baron.
For either team to force at this moment, but with double mountain, definitely expect SKT to be more towards the top side, because if they can get one pick and convert that into the Baron, that's their avenue to victory.
Yeah, well, they don't have to force. They can. G2 probably not going to be able to match that in terms of just raw Baron threat. Once again, Ryze plus the Kaisa, some tankier members in both the Renekton and the Rex side. We'd have to see how the Camille versus Renekton or Camille versus Ryze matchup plays out as we get further, because while the Ryze will scale up, we also have the Spear of Shojin to take into account in the back pocket of Khan. G2 just doing what they can.
That's SKT's next play, setting up for Baron.
The level differences. Faker has a level on Caps, Teddy has a level on Perks, and because of how they're playing, this is probably going to keep mounting. Faker is going to free farm in a side lane, whereas Caps is going to be forced to group like you're seeing right now. Teddy is having a lot more resources funneled into him, whereas Perks sitting on a side lane, it's very dangerous for him to do the same thing. So SKT is
Renekton should still be stronger than, way stronger than Camille, especially because she bought Hydra instead of building like Trinity first. So Camille's really vulnerable versus the Renekton. That's something that SKT still wants to push on.
And now, the inevitable Baron setup. SKT are going to do what they can to get mid lane priority. Kicking Khan, it looks like, once again, back out to a side lane, back up to the top side of the map.
Hydra.
Rest of SKT
Hydra, okay,
They
Hydra.
already have bot wave pushing in their favor, knowing that Wonder will be forced to respond to that one. Means that they have control over the top side unless G2 are willing to commit a TP to fight for it.
Hydra Camille way fucking worse than Black Cleaver Renekton.
Murmano from his Manamune, which would actually give him a fairly substantial power spike.
And additionally, it looks like he's going for a bit of AP itemization. Still a lot of hybrid damage in that build, of course. Yeah. As the Acathian Rain is physical damage, but has to be respected as we get later and later. Obviously, the defensive itemization as well will make it very difficult to lock that Kaisa down.
Yeah, and the vision has actually been traded. You can see Wonder trying to get that push down the bottom side, and SKT, they can just start this. It is
a little early. Fuck, I actually would have liked it differently. Wait for Renek TP, Renek push up, shove Camille in, Ryze right here, can ult to kill Camille when both have TP, and then they can do Baron later. This is a little premature. Fuck! Wow, they're so just like antsy to do this. Ryze with TP, Renekton with TP, or wait for Renekton TP, and then go for that play. This is so antsy.
blocked by Control Ward, but Jankos isn't close. SKT doesn't know that, but they have a chance to burn this down if they really want to.
4K, it's getting lower and lower. 2K, it's going to drop. They're going to back away.
They didn't know where Jankos was.
They're hoping for the play, but everyone's getting so incredibly low, and now the fight's going to kick off. A perfect Nautilus ult to get everything going. A Cocoon to follow up. A TP now coming in. Baron will reset.
Mickey lived
Mickey
too.
will walk away with his life.
When SKT watches this back, they...
Man, this feels like a moment where it does not feel Korean. Usually there's a coolness about Korean teams. Usually there's like a coolness about Korean teams where they're just so willing to wait and chill and like let the enemy team make mistakes. But that coolness and like that patience is just completely gone, and they're playing so nervous and they're playing so antsy.
They are going to be so sad they didn't just finish the Baron because they had it in the bag. What ends up happening though, as G2 collapses, not only do they kill effort, they get the mid priority because the turret killed.
Let's just take into account everything that G2 just got off the back of that play. The obvious one.
It feels like G2's that team now.
Is a mid tier 1. But
it's usually that Korean, like, Koreans are on the side of like, do whatever the fuck you want, but it's G2 that's more the do whatever the fuck you want, I don't care if you're behind.
And they were very close to securing it, forcing the TP in from Wonder. The indecisiveness here, I think they just wanted to turn and fight, they wanted to use it, but they did not get baited in. Now Wonder, he could be in trouble.
Like G2, like Camille was down 0-2, they just played it so chill, and it feels like the roles swapped, where G2, like the Western teams are not the underdogs, and it's G2 that's like the overwhelming favorite, and they're the ones that can take things slow. They're the ones that knows the later the game goes, the better and better will be about things.
Hook shot, wall dive. Realm Warp now coming out, but they're going to respond with the TP. They say, you want to make this our arena, we're going to match you, but he will be stunned immediately as he comes out, and that's disastrous for the side of G2.
Oof.
Wonder gets deleted. That's
actually though,
they can run straight
the moment I fucking said that, actually though,
with the perfect
time for Baron
on TP, and now Faker is hunting.
Jankos doesn't even know. From the darkness, the flash out, the Cocoon will not connect. Spider form.
Where's the dark technology? Oh my god. Oh my fucking god! What the fuck?
Hunting.
Jankos doesn't even know. From the darkness, the flash out.
Flash EW!
Will not connect. Spider form of the Krug's up. He's got to be asking.
Oh! This is not real. This is not real.
Himself should be able to go up into the air.
Oh!
Oh, the fall. He lost vision. But if Jankos somehow steals this, that flash would be huge. SKT has all the cards right now.
His smite is down. I don't think there's anything that he can do.
Oh my god.
The Drake and trade, and disaster for G2 as SKT find a great collapse on the side lane.
It's it doesn't matter that much.
This time though,
but it matters in terms of what the fuck Faker.
SKT with the punish playstyle coming up huge against G2.
And G2, just a consolation prize, and that has to hurt because something else we talked about was TP discrepancies. And it's bigger for mid lane than it is for anywhere else because yes, Caps has the spellbook, but he burned that TP. That TP is wasted. He will not have access to another one for a very long time.
And this isn't the matchup Wonder's been staring at all game. He's been used to fighting up against the Renekton. And Faker's rise, knowing when he can strike Realm Warp straight back in. And look at this timing by effort.
Faker misses the Q there. W.
He arrives.
Q.
He is completely stunned.
EQ.
That allows Teddy to fly in as well.
That was a really good ult by effort
Beautiful
though,
play
yeah.
by SKT.
And G2.
Alright, SKT, please do something with your Baron.
SKT respect.
I mean, I honestly just think it was a lack of map awareness because Wonder should have recognized.
Man, there used to be like some kind of a comfort watching Korean teams. Like at the end of the day, I knew the Korean team would win. Like now, it's really uncomfortable watching Korean teams.
Who's now level 15. We've been talking a lot about this experience difference, and SKT is setting themselves up perfectly to get to match point in this series.
And let's see what they do with this Baron, because the previous two Barons they've actually gotten forced to fight onto and not been able to take advantage of it.
Trying to find the pick on effort. That's a huge shockwave. They get the fight kicked off.
Why? Just fucking why?
In the middle of everything. Faker walking around the wall. Teddy
how?
gets in the gun. G2 trying to fire.
How did they fall behind every single fucking time with Baron?
Into the midst of the fight. Teddy is going massive. Teddy is not enough because Perks is there to find the shutdown.
Why are you guys file?
Again.
You have Baron.
First Baron and G2.
Remember? Oh my god. I mean, I know SKT's bad with first Baron, And I've been saying it all the fucking time, but Jesus fucking Christ, like how the fuck are they this consistently bad? Wait for the fucking wave! Like what the fuck is Faker doing? Teddy's right here. Klid is right here. What are you two doing right there? Just wait. You sit here, wave comes here, G2 goes there, and then you dive right there. Like...
actually gotten forced to fight onto and not been able to take advantage of it.
Trying to pick an effort. That's a huge shockwave.
Faker not part of the fight. Faker not part of the fight. Not part of the fight. Faker Klid not part of the fight. Klid part of the fight. Faker not part of the fight. Faker not part of the fight. He shot 1 Q, and I think he hit the spiderling, and then he shot that.
SKT get their first Baron, and G2 find a favorable fight to negate it. Even if SKT had the position there with the double mountain and everything they would have needed to take an advantage, they get a bad fight, and G2 take it home.
I need to stop saying this team is set up to win the game, because every time I do, a terrible fight seems to happen. But for SKT, they just got caught out of position.
What the fuck?
G2's ability to find that pick was monumental. They're still at a goal.
When I watch NA lose, I have no expectations. But when I watch, it's SKT, it's S fucking KT. Just wait. Let the wave push in and then set up for the dive. Your Rek'Sai and Kai'Sa can't participate.
They're setting up for a dive onto mid. They use a lot of ultimates, but then the two-man shockwave hits. Everyone on SKT is actually pretty split. The two frontliners die immediately while Klid and Faker aren't doing anything. Then Teddy goes beast mode, and you think this is it. But then Perks with the feathers kills everything.
And specifically Wonder came in at the end to get a stun onto Teddy, which stopped his auto attack cadence to be able to get that kill. Definitely
Jesus. Oh my god, 0 damage. He hit the spiderling with the Q. He didn't even hit a champion.
By Faker. We saw in game 2, he had the late recall. It didn't end up mattering because Klid stole the Elder Dragon, but he wouldn't have been there for that fight. Faker starts this fight by channeling Realm Warp into the turret to take minions. That says, yo, we're diving. Effort's there to follow up, but it's Faker who ends up calling out that play, and the team...
A Spellbind there?
That was
I think Righteous Glory is really good here, because they have 3 champions they need to close in on. Elise, Ori, Xayah. Spellbind are also pretty good.
One more Kathy and Rain probably would have killed both Perks as well as Wonder, but did not get the time. And moments like that are you look back at. That is the Baron that they failed to burn down earlier, and this is yet another moment to follow where SKT are going to be...
I do agree people are spamming Shaker like crazy, but it wasn't really Faker's fault. The fight started in a really bad position.
Hitting themselves.
Okay, so we need to kind of take stock of the current map situation, because unsurprisingly to anyone, both these teams are in a very even state. But we have to think about the context of the compositions. SKT can split push. Rise, very strong. Level advantage over Wonder. Khan can't really 1v1 Wonder anymore, but Faker still can, which means SKT still have opportunities to be able to play through the side lane. I feel that SKT's 5v5 is a little bit stronger just because of their ability to engage and how I feel Elise offers very little value in these later game fights. However, the shockwave is so important to take into consideration. Caps, even though he's 2 levels behind Faker, is still very strong. And this could be the biggest swing factor in these fights. So I think this is a game where a big team fight could determine the outcome.
Anytime there's an Orion in the game, watch for the shockwave.
Yep.
We've seen throughout League of Legends history, many times it was Faker who would land the shockwave that could turn the game. Now, it would be...
Oh, the split push isn't even working. They're on inhibitor while you're on second turret. The split push isn't even working. G2's forcing you into vast spots, so you can't pull the same play that G2 was doing to you.
As G2 actually have some pressure bottom lane with Faker pushing mid, and they might go.
Protocol doing a ton of damage to the tower. Khan now 50%. They're just going to break this one down. They're just barreling into the Faker just now getting back.
How did they just get away with this? Like, SKT were just watching G2 set up full vision control on the bot side. They were pushing the wave in, and they just gave them everything.
I gotta say, Faker does not look in sync with his team, which is something I almost never say at a World Championship. He was pushing top. He didn't even get that turret down. There was a miscommunication about SKT's ability to defend versus Faker's ability to push that top lane quickly, and it was wrong because G2 get that, and then they also just get an uncontested mountain drake.
And now SKT is using this time
Yikes.
to reset.
Last 5 minutes have been SKT doing nothing and just giving the game to G2 on a platter.
Push out their waves, get a better opportunity to reset, and while SKT will be first out on
Yikes
the map,
AF.
players like Khan still need to go back to base, still need to restock on their vision, unless they can interrupt some of the G2 members.
And these next...
The superior analyst put Perks as his #1 on the top 20 list.
We haven't had a 5-game series yet in the knockout stage. Everything's gone 3-1. The 1-1 breaker has been the game that ends up sending
All these losers that put this Faker guy as their #1.
This is
Someone
so
else
big
put
for SKT,
Perks as their
who has
#1.
misstepped with their Baron to refine their footing and come back. And for G2, it's their opportunity to pounce.
G2 pushing into Fog of War, have to be very, very careful. Precision
they found
Protocol
them.
will connect.
But SKT didn't want to be found.
They're splitting up. Teddy on the backside, of course, has the ultimate, can leap at a moment's notice wherever he needs to go in the fight.
Look at the map state. Bot lane is pushing in favor of G2, but it will slowly push back towards SKT. They have a slow push building up. Top wave
SKT 's
actually
just
pushing in favor
so
of SKT,
anxious.
While G2 have mid priority. Given the positioning of SKT right now, G2's going to make a beeline towards Baron to clear out some of the vision. But look at all these deep wards that are sitting behind. The opportunity for a TP flank from the side of SKT is very real, and they could look for it right now.
They may just have to be willing to commit that TP because Faker is not anywhere near the team quite yet. He is running down mid lane as fast as he can, hoping to get in. Good damage coming in from Teddy, though. G2 may just be fishing for the pick.
Someone needs to answer top wave.
SKT looks so out of sync right now, but Khan is set up, and they're trying to find some semblance of order here.
It's a split call. They have vision on the top side, but they don't want Khan to push up by himself. They want
Wonder
to be
has
ready for the
teleport.
fight.
They could just send him, but they're actually sending in bot. They want to be able to threaten the inhibitor. And this means SKT should just...
There's a huge question that G2 needs to ask, and their question is, can Wonder beat Faker or Khan 1-on-1? If Wonder can beat Faker or Khan 1-on-1, they can create the win condition by sending Wonder bot side and then forcing the 4v5 at Baron. If the answer is no, then they have to draw one person bot while Wonder goes back to Baron.
Just go straight to Baron.
And it
That's
forces
the big
SKT
question.
into doing Baron, which Perks, or rather the rest of G2 would likely be happy with based on what happened last time.
Here we
SKT
go.
wasn't
This
willing
is
to 50-50.
They fight the full 5v5. The combat sums of G2 will be in their favor.
Here we
Big
go.
shockwave setup. They put themselves in the
Here's
pit.
TP.
That could be everything. Faker, it will be the guaranteed knockup. Caps moving in, looking for the perfect shockwave.
Got the Baron, Rek'Sai died. Caps alive. Fuck, Caps alive.
On the backside, doing what he can. A sliver of life left. Yet still
Oh, Teddy.
keeping his team alive. And Faker and Khan are on the retreat as G2 push in. The hook shot, the wall dive. They will manage to make it out. Khan trying to delete Wonder. They're going to get one back. It's such a close fight. Faker is fearless. He will
I want
make
to
the
see
slow
Teddy. I want to
retreat.
see Teddy. I want to see Teddy.
Happy with based on what happened last time.
Here we go.
SKT wasn't willing
What
to
happened to
50-50.
Teddy?
They fight the full 5v5. The combat sums of G2 will be in their favor. Big shockwave setup. They put themselves in the pit. That could be everything.
Engage not landing on Faker. Effort missed E. Effort did
Will be
nothing.
in their favor. Big shockwave setup. They put themselves in the pit. That
Fucking flash Q someone.
could be everything. Faker.
E nothing.
It will be the guarantee.
R nothing. Flash Q. Walk up to them. Flash Q ult. Dude, flash Q ult at least.
Caps moving in, looking for the perfect shockwave. The Baron will go down, but can G2 find the fight? Caps instantly taken out. The cleanse will not be enough. No, Caps.
Oh, Teddy.
Doing what he can. A sliver of life left.
Teddy.
Instantly taken out. The cleanse will not be enough.
I don't like this
Moving in,
ult.
looking for the perfect shockwave. The
You can just auto someone from there. Why do you feel the need to ult?
Baron will go down, but can G2 find the fight? Caps
Wait.
instantly taken out. Will be the guaranteed knockup. Caps moving in, looking for.
Walk. Auto. Save ult for later.
The perfect shockwave. The Baron.
Why? Just fucking auto him. Wait. Instead of autoing, he fucking walked all the way there. Or he warped all the way there. Yo. My boy Teddy. Damn, that's some negative gaming right there.
Baron will go down, but can G2 find the fight? Caps instantly taken out. The cleanse will not be enough. No, Caps alive on the backside, doing what he can. A sliver of life left, yet still keeping his team alive. And Faker and Khan are on the retreat as G2 push in. The hook shot.
SKT should have demolished this fight. Dodging Zaya ult, he has his ult, he has stopwatch, he has so many things to deal with that. And also he can walk this side. He has flash. He has so many ways he could have dealt with that without putting himself in a situation where he's getting flanked by everyone. He has so many things he could have dealt with.
The wall dive. They will manage to make it out. Khan trying to delete Wonder. They're going to get one back in such a close fight. Faker is fearless. He will make the slow retreat. The last man standing with the Baron buff for SKT.
SKT may walk away with the Baron, but they lose 4 members to get it. Only Faker holds on to the buff in what was an incredible...
You know how people talk about Kaisa as being like a Giga Vayne?
The death timers were low enough there, so...
Like...
Holy crap.
There's Vayne spotting, and then there's Kaisa spotting. There's tumbling into the enemy team, and then there's porting into the entirety of the enemy team.
But they keep winning fights, and at the end of the day, that's what matters most in this game.
So we get to see the fight play out. Wonder doesn't bother split pushing because he realizes how quickly this is going down.
I want to watch this in slow-mo. There's no way Teddy had to do that. Oriult. He's full HP. He's full HP. Just fucking kill him. He's stunned. He's full HP. He's stunned. Just fucking kill him. Stunned with no flash. Even if he doesn't notice Wonder, he has no need to ult there.
And Teddy tried to be a hero in the backline, but the focus of Wonder and Perks on the dive bombing Kaisa has been extremely good. And this was really tense. If Faker ends up getting stunned there,
if the flash was bugged, never mind. He does have flash.
But now, one man with Baron. Can SKT make this?
That ult was still so fucking bad.
His flash in that final E. If he had stunned
the Taya ult, that's so little damage. Oh, you guys don't understand. You guys don't understand.
Faker's able to walk away. He found a bunch of kills, and now we're kind of looking at him at being the primary damage dealer. Of course, Kaisa's not irrelevant in this game, but I feel the Renekton is just a meat.
I'm telling you, that was Teddy's fight to carry.
And you have to look at it. If they had a few more Barons up, they could split the map like they want to, with the power of the Renekton, with the power of this Rise.
He could have wrecked them. He has so much tools too.
To use that buff, they can put him on a side lane.
And obviously anything can happen, but I still feel like Effort is playing a very inconsistent game. He whiffed his ultimate in that last fight, and it is still G2 who seems so much more well coordinated than SKT. SKT need to pull it together because the next fight can be the game.
Hex Flash coming in.
There's 2 people that trolled that fight, Effort and Teddy. Effort and Teddy were giga trolls in that fight.
They're just looking to break the base. They managed to land the stun on the Effort. He instantly gets half health. The Camille that goes in. The support is gone. Khan is onto the backside. Eyes on Caps. Eyes on Perks. The damage sources, but they're threatening. And Teddy is left in, and Caps just gets deleted, but Perks is untouched. It's a trade of carries. Perks, he gets it. He's still alive. Khan wants it, but Teddy, it's not going to be enough. Perks continues to step forward. He has the E up and available. Teddy has to run for the hills, but G2 do not need to commit for the fight. Teddy can make the play, but it's not worth the risk.
If Teddy dies, this is the game over for SKT. He is the last question for SKT to hold the line against G2, and he will survive.
There's still minions coming in mid. How much does G2 want to go for this? It's hard for Teddy to clear the minions.
Steps forward, big damage. One more feather. Teddy running for his life. No flash, no heal, no ult. But 1 second.
Holy fuck, the base is dying fast.
The Void Seeker into the ult. They can turn this around. Teddy can turn this. Teddy can turn
this.
He gets taken out. And just like that, in an instant, the series is defined as G2 move to match point. Without a single
Jesus Christ.
Buff, G2 is within a game of going to the World Finals.
Oh my god.
This series,
SKT is choking like crazy. Holy. Man, G2's actually playing so well under pressure, and SKT is missing obvious plays that were possible. They had double Earthdrake, Renekton that was stronger than Camille, and they didn't have Renekton split push and used Rise. If G2 was in that position and they have double Earthdrake and they are running a Renekton Rise comp into a Camille that got fucked early, holy, they would have played that game so differently. We're living in a new world where G2 has by far the best macro and is playing by far best under pressure. And these were characteristics of SKT and of Korean teams in the past, where under pressure and later on in the game, they would have such strong attributes, they would consistently come out ahead. And that attribute is all with G2 now. G2 is the late game team, G2 is the macro team, G2 is the under pressure team, G2 is the clutch team. Alright guys, on to game 4. So watching game 3, I have a really big feeling that really shook me as like a Korean fan of League of Legends. The kind of the late game buff that Korean teams have had is completely on G2's side. Oh, it's late game, the Korean team is going to be better. Oh, it's later on in the game, the Korean team is going to be more clutch in these like high pressure situations. Oh, the Korean team just has to wait. The enemy team's going to choke. They make way more mistakes. Where it's the other way around. The longer G2's been waiting, the better and better G2 has been playing. And it's SKT actually choking up. So it's so weird and so shaking to me. And it's up to all of us to, just reality is what it is. Like G2 is the overall favorites. Like G2 is the team that never chokes. G2 is the team that's like untiltable. G2 is the team that's more clutch the bigger the stage, and it's no longer SKT and it's no longer the Korean teams.
That have been played across the board. Mata has 48 Worlds games. The experience, the pressure that is being put onto the stage right now in a European crowd as well is what SKT is hoping to get from Mata.
And experience matters. When we were prepping for this series, we kind of
Renekton actually being a problem.
Old Rocks versus SKT semifinal from 2016 of like, could this series live up to that semifinal? A big part of that semifinal.
They feel like Renekton's problematic enough where they didn't.
Subbed back in and going 3-0 in that series. He was not the better jungler
Rise
on that
band.
team.
They can't deal with the Rise first pick.
On the day. If this is to work,
Xayah, Gragas, Kiana. Xayah, Gragas, Kiana open.
And Mata, a player who's basically been counted out, getting his chance to try and save SKT's
Xayah, Gragas, Kiana.
Now the Rise has been taken away. One of the biggest factors in the draft so far, the priority first pick, even above the Renekton. Both those champions now removed. Game 4 will be different.
Kiana's open. Kiana is right now
Kai'Sa gone.
First pick.
Xayah, Gragas, Kiana. Xayah, Gragas, Kiana. Xayah, Gragas, Kiana.
That's scary. But, of course, the flexibility of the champion, it could have just been a bad day for Jankos. A number of factors. Do SKT take the gamble?
I think we see a Xayah ban, and I think we see a first pick Kiana.
Xayah, Gragas, Kiana.
I think SKT had success.
Gragas, Kiana. Gragas,
when
Kiana.
Wasn't on Xayah Kai'Sa. That's what he's been thriving on.
Syndra. Oh, the first time it's been open this series.
And you would still expect the Kiana. They're hovering other picks right now.
Yeah, take Gragas.
Okay.
They have
priority for
G2 has no reason to take Syndra first pick because SKT can only put Syndra mid, and it's a much weaker pick for them.
For the first time in the series.
Wow. Okay. So now do SKT answer with the counter? They have to. Surely. The champion is very strong in the current meta.
It's OP. If you can play it at the highest level, it's OP. It's just G2 said that they're not willing to try.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, we'll have to see
Here we go.
what things pan out for the side of SKT. They can also grab, well, they shouldn't grab the jungle. They should actually grab a strong bot side of the map if they want to. Yasuo is still up and available. Of course, you'd be pretty infused with AD damage by grabbing it, but you have a lot of flexibility. But they kind of need to deny it because otherwise G2 is just going to grab it for themselves.
And now the question is, all of those Yasuo counter picks that Faker has been playing in solo queue, all the games he's played against Genax, going 1v1 in the mid lane, is this where we finally see it?
Kiana, let's do it.
With the Yasuo, try to match that pick.
Varus early, that means you open up for Yasuo Gragas. I don't like that. I don't like that. You have to prep for Yasuo Gragas, but when you take Varus like this, you're so vulnerable to it. It's coming.
See what they can do,
Yasuo Gragas.
For Teddy on the bottom side.
Yasuo Syndra. Or Yasuo Elise here. Yasuo Syndra or Yasuo Elise here.
Surely it's the Yasuo.
I mean, it's really good Navarus. So much of his damage is skill shot dependent.
We're just waiting in bated breath.
I think the Varus pick is just waiting for G2 to pick Yasuo.
It has to be the Yasuo. Okay, so what G2 now don't want to do is reveal where this is going. So I'm now thinking about what are the potential flex picks because they consider. They could, of course, just lock in the Elise and guarantee that the Gragas is on support, but Syndra would actually be the Syndra would be the best blind because you can also.
I thought they might have taken Elise, but this completely opens up Yasuo Gragas Elise. It's all open.
We see the perks with the Syndra in hands. Mages have not been successful in the bot lane. This could be a game that tells us a different story. Could also be the Yasuo, but one thing is certain: there will not be an traditional AD carry on the side of G2.
Tahm Kench. SKT draft is so predictable comparatively. G2 plays everything.
Willing to pick the more aggressive option for Mata.
Yeah, I can potentially see not going Kench against Gragas, but it is very aggressive and will make it very hard for Teddy to stay alive in this game. Oftentimes, it feels like Varus Kench are a little bit joined at the hip because of the low mobility in the mid and late game.
Bans now coming through for
what did they even ban?
Well, Jungle.
If they ban jungles, then Gragas just goes jungle. Then they play Yasuo Gragas with Syndra mid. Or Yasuo Gragas with Syndra bottom. If they ban supports, then it goes Yasuo Gragas bot side. And Syndra mid with a new jungle. G2 draft. Yikers.
This is likely what you would ban away. Oh, but they're actually thinking that this is.
If you ban supports, then Yasuo Gragas bot lane, Syndra mid.
Yeah.
And they want to
They're just so flexible.
The number of support options, but my guess is. So the only.
They have to be okay with either Yasuo or Syndra going mid lane versus Kiana plus a strong jungle. Long as they're okay with that, they can keep flexing back and forth.
The reason why
I don't care if you're wrong. We're both going to be
the
wrong.
only reason why I could see SKT banning away the supports is because they have something prepared for Syndra mid. So they're saying, okay, if you're going to lock in Syndra, we have a counter pick for Syndra mid, which means we're going to force you into it bot, which means you can't put the Gragas support.
Predator Rumble.
Predator Rumble.
No. But also,
SKT pulls out Rumble. Rumble, Kiana, Nautilus. Super carry Doinby style. I'm down for it. Kelban is completely useless there.
You're right, it could be Predator Rumble.
I mean, Faker interviews from the past said he could play every single champion in the game at a competitive level. It's a few years outdated, that statement. He might not believe it anymore, but it's time to find out. Last time G2 did ban both champions that were perceived as Kled counters. We don't know if SK Telecom T1 will give it to Khan, but that could be the setup that we're in once again, but instead it will be the LeBlanc banned away.
If they're going to do the Predator Rumble, it doesn't have to be here, but they do have to start saying what their solo laners would be. Renekton banned, so Khan will be on something new this game, and his champion pool beyond Renekton has been the most varied so far this year.
Elise.
And this would mean, if they lock it, would mean a Kiana in a solo lane.
Yep.
Kiana mid, Elise jungle.
It looks like that will be the case.
Okay. So
Kiana into Yasuo, Kiana into Syndra, both good.
The assumption I'm making right. Wow.
Olaf Ornn. One thing a little bit special about this Ornn pick, Wonder's been having kind of an off series, and also they can't counterpick the Ornn with Yasuo this game.
I think they might have been ready for that one, folks.
So they're just going for the safe top lane. The expectation was initially that it could have been a Kled based on the bans, but now SKT, do they want to go for a hard carry split push
Then
top lane?
Wonder played a supportive role all up semis.
For themselves if they wanted to.
Oh, another huge thing, it's Varus without Tahm Kench, and it's a Varus into Ornn without Yasuo too.
Instead.
Just AP damage.
Oh, I'm quite a fan of this as well.
I love the Vladimir here though.
Like you have Vlad, you have Kiana, you have Nautilus, Varus, like you have the early game transition with the Elise as well. The only other thing they could do is flex the Vladimir into mid lane, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Maybe it's just the stakes of these series, but I'm just fascinated by these drafts. It's champions we've seen before, but the order in which they're getting picked and how much time
Elise, Kiana. This is a scary fucking duo. Caps has to run cleanse.
Didn't want this game to be about their ability to play Kiana, but instead was actually, no, you take the.
No, I could hear a vibration. There was a vibration. There was a vibration somewhere.
Bring back the flex picks. They have that Perks Mickey Yasuo Gragas lane. I just can't wait for this.
And this is going to
what the
be
fuck?
an explosive early game because the pairing of Elise Kiana is simple, straightforward, point and click gank setup. But Syndra should have priority in the mid lane. The Olaf, what can Jankos do to stop Kled from getting anything done? And what does Mata look like in match point for G2? Can he show up when it matters most?
Well, I think
I think it's gone now, but there was vibration.
Aspects in this early game. Remember that every game G2 have played against
It's Shaker.
Gragas, they've tried to set up a dive. You could not ask for a better dive comp than what you are getting from the side of SKT. The Elise, the potential Vlad TP, I'd be surprised if they used it early, but with a Kiana with her CC setup as well, SKT should be looking to attack that bot lane early.
The biggest question will be whether or not Faker can get out of lane.
Yes.
Because the Syndra early should have the range advantage and the push advantage on the Kiana.
And if push comes to shove, is Faker willing to sacrifice his own lane, willing to give up CS to make a play that's outside of the textbook, to go do something crazy?
Kiana in important moments has worked out great for a lot of teams.
At so many different moments, the Varus, the Kiana,
oh my god, this draft is so
Vladimir
exciting
together
actually.
can delete
Kiana
the team
Elise.
in an instant, but it all comes down then to setup.
Yeah, we're in it. This is match point for G2. This is either G2 crushing through two Korean powerhouses on their way to meet FPX in the final, or it's Mata coming back after effort his replacement has a bad game and rescuing SKT's season. I can't wait.
And when you look at it,
Ooh, I'm so excited.
it is the best
This
player
game's gonna rely super heavily on the Kiana Leaf execution. It's very similar to the Leaf and LeBlanc game.
in League of Legends history, toe-to-toe with the best team that Europe has ever produced and may ever produce. This is a first, the first truly successful European super team.
And yes, a European team was in finals last year, but the expectations set before G2 were so much higher this year. For them to show up in this way, be 2-1 up on SKT, ready to take that spot in the final, is incredible.
This is it, boys.
Do. And a bit of a delay, of course, getting into game.
What's the delay
It
for?
was so inspirational.
Right,
I
we
was
were just-
Let's get going.
captivated by your
I want to watch the games.
As long as we got a little... Oh, well, hold on. Looks
Yeah,
like we
just
made
a
it
long
in.
loading screen for some reason.
There you go.
All right, back into the
Even the
dramatic talk.
even the client was like, oh, this guy's
It's like, I need a
What the
breather.
hell?
Take a break there.
Okay, it's just about to
So
start.
ladies
I'll
and
let it
gentlemen,
be.
we're going to be jumping onto Summoner's Rift for Game 4. SKT are nowhere near down and out. Jack, we talked at length about how SKT should have won
What?
that last game. Execution in
Syndra no cleanse. Syndra no cleanse.
the final team fight alone could have swung the game back in SKT's favor, and you should not count them out just because they did.
No cleanse versus
And the
Elif
operative
Kiana.
word there is should. And it's a word that as a fan and as an analyst, I constantly struggle with.
Jesus fuck.
Because ultimately,
This is some
the one
ultimate
that the team
bravery
should have won.
shit.
If you base it down to its most basic level, there are mistakes that SKT made, but their team play fell apart
You're right.
down the stretch in that
And I
game.
mean, individuals made a number of mistakes. Teddy's ultimate in the fights, we talked at length about effort, and even Faker, his positioning on the map.
Yeah, because I don't disagree with you. There were so many things that SKT should have done to win that game, but since they didn't do them,
No cleanse
That's
on
why we're here.
Syndra
That's why
versus a
SKT is
Kiana
facing
Elif.
elimination
Wow,
against
that's suicidal.
the LEC powerhouse in G2.
As we see G2 potentially group for late invade, one stat that further kind of colors this series. So the sweeper coming out from Mickey. We'll hold that thought.
Sweep.
Level one
You
fight.
might want to sweep that, Mickey. There we go.
SKT willing to match it. Of course, is Halo
They're going
Blaze
for
also
it.
much stronger at level 1 than, say, the Conqueror.
SKT can't do much.
So this is very important because G2, let's not forget, when they first played against the Yasuo bot lane in Game 2, they tried to make this invade happen. The mistake they made was disrespecting SKT's early vision. They got
Oh,
caught
Vladimir's
on
running
the
Klepto
double game.
also.
Now,
I would
think
much
about all
prefer
that.
phase shift or phase rush.
Fast, clearing through the jungle. I'm curious as to how Clid answers. I like what he's doing. He should be looking to split the map himself, and he's going straight towards the blue buff. But this gives the Yasuo bot lane a lot of freedom, so that he does not have to run the risk of getting ganked in the early game.
And it's great. You can vertical your Yasuo Gragas so they can play as aggressively as possible. It's the reverse of having to eat a 15 or 20 CS advantage early. They can actually push in fairly freely and trade aggressively.
And that's what you're seeing now. Perk's not going to be a part of the trades, but Mickey feeling pretty comfortable so far. Teddy always has to respect the potential for a tornado. We'll manage to connect there.
Look at the state of the wave right now.
Oh, level
What the
2
hell
first,
did
level
all
2
that
first.
John's going in. Teddy has to flash out to safety instantly.
Oh.
Halo Blaze doing so much work. Mickey now 7
Oh.
That goes down. Perks, the heal, is it enough? Yanko's coming over the wall. First blood for G2.
The G2 bottom lane show
No TP on AD also.
how it is done.
Fuck.
They know where the enemy jungler is. They have all the information in the world. They burn all of the summoner spells from Teddy, and Perks
No
shuts down
TP,
Teddy.
missed the giant wave.
Massive start for G2.
That's
They
huge.
attack
No
Mata
flash on Bears
in his
too.
First game of the semifinals this Worlds. They know exactly where to go. They know exactly how to do it. And they get it done.
Look at top lane though. Clid is in the top side of the map. Wonder is overextended.
But it's a level 3 Vladimir. It's fine. He should just be up there.
I mean, you're right.
And additionally, it doesn't get any easier because Wonder can just opt for the Abyssal Mask early on. They're both magic damage, but as we look back at this one, you can see Halo
Oh, that's
Blaze
so
allowing
good
Perks
from
to get
Perks.
multiple Qs so rapidly. Goes back, Tornado confirmed, easy to
Ugh.
land. The heal buys him time, but Flash Axe.
I don't think G2 actually expected to get a kill there. I think they wanted to force an all-in just to get a bunch of summoner spells and set it for a dive.
Yeah, they were. Vedius is 100% correct. They wanted to all in, get level 2, like kind of trade HP. It didn't matter if they got gotten low, long as SKT got low, they could get that dive 100%. They were planning to dive them. They weren't planning to kill them there.
A little bit later on, but the moment Mickey saw the window where Mata actually engaged onto Perks, he could jump on top of.
They just wanted to trade,
giving G2 the ability to find that first blood.
And something I want to put on both your guys' minds is one, when G2 have won game 1 in a series, it has never gone to game 5. They've always won in 4 or less. It's a lot of 3-0s, a lot of confident wins.
Okay.
Additionally, what we've seen from G2 very often in the final games of their series is that they download their opponent and they obliterate them. Now, this is 1 kill, but the question I want you to keep in mind as we get further, if G2 start to pull further and further ahead, is this something that we can just say is G2's specialty, is blowing people out in these final games?
I think that's going to be a question. We've also not seen a Game 5 in the whole knockout stage. Game 4 has ended up being the decider, and G2 also seems to be this team that is impervious to SKT's aura that they used to hold in these best-of-5 series. G2 are the ones to hand SKT. SKT's only best-of-5 defeat all year. That was at the MSI semifinal, and here they look to do it again.
Oh,
great win.
The reaction speed from Perks. That was an Uwe play if I ever.
Fuck. Do you guys remember when? Do you guys remember when?
All year, that was at the MSI semifinal, and here they.
Do you know what this reminds me of? Do you guys remember when? Who's that player that also played Yasuo? Nuclear. When Nuclear played Yasuo, and he's doing the wind wall behind him. Jesus Christ. So the thing about wind wall is wind wall is near instant. Wind wall is near instant, and it has almost no animation, and it originates even from behind you. So the kind of it's very good for dodging. Like, it's very great at dodging skill shots. Like, the kind of you do need reaction speed, but it's a lot less than comparatively to other skills. So it's just so fucking easy to do it.
Look to do it again.
I'm not taking it away from him, but it just when Nuclear did it, it looked impossibly hard. When Perks does it, it looks so simple.
SKT, they're forced to back off, and you can see how the wave is just in an awkward spot for Teddy.
Wonder doing what he can on the top side. Still trading back well with Khan. Khan can obviously provide a decent amount of wave pressure, but not a whole lot of kill threat up against the Ornn, who just rushed the Negatron.
And the 5-minute Ocean, it couldn't get any better for G2 right here, as Jankos is ready to do that with the bot priority.
Feels good.
And the full river control.
2 waves up on a Yasuo Gragas lane against an enemy AD carry. The TP is going to come through from Syndra.
That's going to be big. Jankos is just going to get one shot.
Thank you very much for the leash.
Faker moving in on the catch rather. Khan TP's down. This is the
Early
big
ocean
turn for
drink.
SKT. They will not just be run over. They will match G2 for the Drake, and they will take the ocean for themselves.
Excellent punish coming out from Clid. He knows what Jankos is up to. He's seen these Olaf plays before, and he recognizes, wait a minute, Perks and Mickey actually haven't left the lane yet. Syndra is back in base. We get to move first, so they do. The only problem for SKT is Khan TP'd into that play. He got nothing for it. Meanwhile, the Ornn set up a bit of a freeze in the top lane, and he's just going to get all this free farm, while Khan is left to get nothing.
That's still the type of play that we've seen time and time again in this series, where just as we're starting to have the discussion about this early game advantage potentially leading to a snowball, we see the counter. Clid with exactly the right time.
Early CDR boost.
Vedius mentioned, punishing it, and I think
this is a Vlad build designed to farm the Ornn. Vlad usually hates getting CDR boost.
To punish that. So just an amazing thing for SKT just happened.
And I think it's important to remember, while this bot lane play has gone great.
One thing that's so surprising to me is at least Kiana not utilizing their strong 2v2 at all.
You're looking at
it's a Syndra that didn't go cleanse, and SKT's not playing towards at least Kiana side at all. I actually think that's a huge problem.
One ultimate into a Yasuo ultimate, and you're like, okay, G2's team fighting comp is pretty solid. Yep. But Vladimir Kiana is no slouch either. If you fight around Baron, or if you fight in the right place, there is
CDR boost isn't that standard on
opportunity for you to be able to win out on these team fights. The big thing you have to play around is the win wall, because the win wall can interrupt things like the Kiana ultimate, can mitigate a lot of the damage that comes out from the side of SKT.
Because you get 40% CDR so easily, you normally don't want to build CDR boost.
See Perks pulling back, and I think the thing that G2 are going to have to respect is Faker on this Kiana. He has the Moby boots. This champion moves across the map like wind. She is so incredibly fast. They have to see what Faker gets done. For now, he's locked into mid lane by caps by the constant pushing threat of this Syndra. But if he gets out, if we see those clutch Kiana ultimates that have been there all across the tournament, the reason this champion is banned so much, SKT have an easy route back into the game.
SKT is playing to Voss side. They want to play off of Varus level 6. They want to play off of Nautilus. I feel like they don't quite understand Kiana. Kiana is a champion that's very weak in lane. Kiana is a champion that needs a lot of help. Kiana is a champion that's strong when your support in jungle is coming mid lane. The more you play away from Kiana, the weaker and weaker that champion becomes.
Where can he move with those Moby boots? Will be the big question.
Mickey.
As that's the second time Mickey's just kind of...
Yeah, unless you're Jensen, then you just die to it one-on-one with a counter pick.
With a well-timed body slam.
I like that SKT is sending their jungler bot.
But it's such a big, strong point about Kiana too. And then you're playing versus an immobile mid laner without running cleanse. It should be a huge point of contention.
Teddy and Mata really aren't in range. Just a bit of poke down onto Mickey.
Oh, they're actually threatening a dive. I like this a lot more. We talked about how strong this dive comp actually is. No TP on Khan.
I really don't like this play from SKT.
Faker got spotted both times on that control ward.
I feel like it does so little. It's so hard for like Nautilus, Varus, Elise to go on the Gragas or the Yasuo too. If you're going on the Yasuo can protect with his wind wall. And once Gragas is level 6, like they can protect each other so easily. So I really hate them playing towards bot side, and I really think they should be focusing on mid side and then blowing up one.
Able to step back up. They don't have deep enough vision into the G2 jungle. I love that control ward right next to G2's red buff.
And now with perks at level 6, power dynamic might shift a little bit here on the bottom lane. Teddy and Mata have the safety of range with a few more levels under their belt, but Yasuo all the threat of the follow.
Do you think that's Mata influence? That actually might be. That's actually a good point. Ugh.
Once again, a very tense game. It felt like G2 were pulling ahead. A beautiful response from Clint.
You don't blow up Ornn with Vlad Elise. You blow up Syndra with Kiana Elise, and then the Kiana gets freed up.
To make sure that he can sit more comfortably in this lane.
Remember that G2...
Kiana has to get freed up.
Yasuo is very item reliant.
Like, they invest so much into bot side, and do you guys see how little it's giving to them? There's nothing to invest.
And that Jankos just recognizing the wave is pushing bot. He can come in for a play. With the knock-up onto Teddy, they might have been able to find a kill, but... As we mentioned, good flash from him. Now Yanko's going to face check. Or not. Wow. Good use of the axes there.
And a level 6 Olaf is relatively scary to jump on if you don't get the clean one-shot, since he can just...
What? They haven't helped mid lane once.
And then return fire.
That is not how you play a Kiana.
They've kind of left top lane on an island. Both TP... Oh, wow. So Wonder had Ignite, and I thought that he may overcommit. He may actually go for an all-in there, but decided against it. He does, of course, have the ultimate, and look at the roam from...
I hate SKT's identity when Mata's on the team.
He needs to go in on Khan. If he's going to kill him, he needs to kill him now. Khan flashes back to safety. Faker not going to connect on the ultimate.
Wait.
The all-in. He thinks he has the all-in. He needs to go in on Khan. If he's going to kill him, he needs to kill him now.
That ult hits? What does it do? You should be ulting this way. Even if the ult hits, it's wrong. Even if the ult hits, it's wrong.
Khan flashes back.
The ult... Wait, and also, why didn't he get the root here?
Wonder going for the all-in. He thinks he has the all-in. He needs to go in on Khan. If he's going to kill him, he needs to kill him now. EQ for the root! Faker not going to connect on the ultimate. That's massive. Still, though, the
Alright, they got the kill, but EQ for the root.
Everything.
Actually, a bit of a misplay by Faker there, which is odd to say. You should always start that gank with...
Thank you, Jat. Thank you, Jat.
Auto-acquire the water blade, so Faker shouldn't have a chance to miss the ultimate, but still gets the kill with the Ignite, and that's a big play, being able to find a roam.
A lot of trading in terms of summoner spells up towards the top lane, and ultimately Khan does get away with this one. You could see, with the Ignite available on Wonder and knowing that the pool has a very...
He has water! EQ!
What's this play? Wonder recognizes that even if he flashes after Khan, he's probably not going to be able to chase him down. So he tries to get away from Faker, but he's not able to do it. And as you mentioned, Jat, while there was a slight mis-execution from the side of Faker, he still ultimately gets what he wants.
And Teddy, ultimate could come out. Mata continuing to step forward. G2's have to feel like they might have sniffed this one out, though, with how forward Mata and Teddy are playing.
Even with sniffing it out, though, SKT need to be able to get this wave into the turret if they don't want to get denied, because I think they'd still lose a 3v3. They definitely lose.
Please go kill the Syndra. Why are you guys playing so heavily towards bot lane? Windwall is so strong. Windwall is so strong.
The ultimate coming up the bars is huge. Teddy is not going down quite yet, but they're going to be able to grab the kill on the back of the Olaf. Khan in the midst of the entire team.
They were able to kill Perks luckily, but Windwall is so strong here. Oh, G2 kind of overcommitted.
Where's the Kiana going to go? Dashing in. That's going to be one. Invisible with the
Oh, Faker! If you had ult! If you had ult here! If you had ult here!
Will not be necessary. Captain Wonder forced to back off.
Excellent answer from SKT. Clid does not.
Oh my god. Also, Caps misplayed this really hard.
Still lose a 3v3. They definitely lose a 4v3. So really good timing on G2's roam here.
We don't have vision. Is Elise still in the brush? That's
here.
Now coming out, the Windwall can't immediately fall.
Oh, Perks took damage. The Nautilus ult was too good. Usually, if you Windwall early enough, Varus and Elise, it's really hard to do damage to the Yasuo, but...
Perks might just get bodied down. The ultimate coming up the bars is huge. Teddy is not going down quite yet, but they're going to be able to grab the kill on the back of the Olaf. Khan in the midst of the entire team will just be forced to retreat.
Khan said, what is it? Or Khan predicted that Caps would stun, so he used stopwatch as he's getting stunned. Almost perfect timing.
Faker now coming down. The Kiana's now
oh wait, he didn't get stunned. He just got knocked back.
Will just be forced to retreat.
Yeah, he just got knocked back. He didn't get stunned. And then stopwatch the ult. Beautiful. The ball disappeared last second, yeah. Oh, Faker, if he had ult here, he would have just fought so many people.
Excellent answer from SKT. Clid does not crack under the pressure and just lies in wait. The moment that Teddy gets ultimate, that is
wait, does the orb disappear when you ult? He ER'd, but he did ER so fast before his E went, the orb got picked up and disappeared. Is that how it works? Really? No way. Okay. I don't think that's exactly how it works, but we'll say that.
With a big team fight win, they can convert this into a Drake and claim control over the gold lead.
And Mata as well, still deathless despite the relentless assaults of G2 on this bottom lane. While SKT wasn't there at the start of the fight.
Alright, if Ender said it, I'll trust him.
At the end of it. And the 2-0
I'll trust the weird champ.
Kiana. How many times have we seen a few early kills on a Kiana just end a game? We'll have to see what Faker can do with this lead.
2K gold.
But my biggest problem still is SKT not playing towards the Kiana. It's Kiana Elise. Play towards it. Make sure you open the game up from that end.
Talk can complete his first lethality item as we look back at this replay.
And here we see again, Clid, recognizing all these people were coming, just waits. He turns his attention immediately to Perks, but the damage is already done. He's CC'd, he's locked up, and while that was a great flash knockup from Mickey, G2 is doing everything in their power to try and turn this in their favor, but the TP comes in from Khan. The roam comes down.
So usually before the ball disappears, there's like a blue effect on it. There's no blue effect on this ball. So the ball's not timing out normally, the ball's getting picked up from the ult.
This overcommitment here is ultimately what costs G2.
Yeah, the ball's getting picked up from the ult.
Because you can see Jankos gets dragged into the tower, Khan mitigates all of the damage, and that buys enough time for Faker to then arrive.
Here, you guys see like the blue orb effect that's happening next to the balls? That's what happens to them when they disappear. So you guys are correct. The R picks up the ball so he couldn't get the stun. Man, if Faker had ult here, holy shit, they would have killed 2 peeps.
In as well to make it so fire couldn't be returned. But during the replay, we saw Jankos get the Rift Herald, keeping the tempo up as fast as possible.
And Faker, not a lot of resistances to his name. Has to respect the potential for him to just get bursted by Caps, especially as now he'll back off and should be able to complete the loot in shortly. Wonder and Khan have taken up home on the bottom side of the map as the Yasuo Gragas will match top side for SKT. And in this game, SKT actually pulling ahead. Only about 600 in their favor, but the double ocean as well is going to make a lot of their lives much easier if we stay in standard lanes.
And it also doesn't seem to matter who G2 is.
Remember, we talk about homes a lot. Varus doesn't have a home this game. Varus can't lane versus Ornn, he's going to get ulted on, and anytime Jankos is there, Varus gets insta-killed. Varus can't lane versus Syndra, he gets one-shot. He has ninja tabbies even, and it's really hard for Varus to be versus Perks also, because of the Gragas Yasuo combo. Varus has no home.
Is playing against, they will have more gold from minions.
He has nowhere he can be. Look. He can't go to an even lane to farm, he's farming double golems. He has no home.
Was their best stat leading into the quarterfinals, and I think it is their best stat now in terms of the ability.
Now he has to get babysat 24/7. He has to get babysat for the rest of the game. Or the enemy team, or your team has to make a play on the other part of the map.
And the vertical jungling that gave them most of their CS advantage, but across the board, Ornn, Syndra, and Yasuo all up on CS against
He can never catch the CS first. He's always going to have to be behind turret, always just receiving CS. He's always going to be behind on tempo, always going to be behind in terms of moving. Like, this Varus pick is fucking rotten.
That's good. That's something that's going to buy them more as they get later into the game. Perkz, though, has to respect, has to be careful. He can win wall a lot, but he can't win wall
Needs
everything.
so many people
The player
just
I'm
holding
looking
his
at
hand.
in this game a lot is Khan. I think that in the laning phase, yes, that could have been a bad trade, but of course Faker with a good roam up, and he is yet to die. Sure, he doesn't have a CS advantage against the Ornn, but this man actually sits on a 1,000 gold lead right now. The Kleptomancy has done him a lot of favors. He was involved in the plays down in the bot lane, contributing to a lot of SKT's early kills. And when we think about the team fight power of SKT, all of it is going to come from this Vladimir. He has so much damage later on into the game. He is the insurance, the follow-up from the crowd control that Faker's ultimate can provide. He is the man that will be able to win out on many of these 1v1s later into the game. So Khan, a player that we've talked about a lot this series, will be very important if SKT want to win.
Caps are trying to pull back. The
That's a kill.
That means the follow.
Why do you do this 14 minutes into the game? Why can't you do it earlier? I wish they kept playing towards mid lane way more so than they did towards bot lane.
There and down goes Caps. Clean kill pickup from the side of SKT.
It's a lot of crowd control that they're bringing.
They could have just done this so much earlier.
Caps didn't bring cleanse in this matchup, so anytime they start with that type of CC chain, unless the rest of G2 is there to fight, Caps would die. And that's exactly what we see SK do there. Mata just, I think, hex flashes in range for his ultimate, and the follow-up was pretty easy for SKT.
Certainly was.
Ulti comes out, call the Forge God. Who's it going to find? Perkz. Not gonna opt to follow up there. Just trying to bully out, just trying to threaten SKT. They got priority over the mid wave. What are they going to do with it? For now, moving up to top side, clearing out a little bit of this SKT vision, but G2 do not want to stay too long for a play here. They've fallen too far behind to overcommit for anything.
Well, it's still not the end of the world for G2. The scaling on their side is still very solid.
Also the fact that they're, one game away from the finals. I feel like that would mean it's not the end of the world.
That's also true.
Just in the context of the game. Context of the series.
Just look at Varus. That's the one person we really have to look
But
at.
it's still early
He's
on.
just,
Jack,
he's fucked.
15 minutes in.
Varus going mid lane versus Syndra. He's gonna have to be scared.
You're right. 15 minutes.
Yep.
This pick is just gonna haunt them. I think SKT fucked up draft so much.
Now,
The core of their draft was Kiana Elise, and they don't get to make special use of Kiana Elise. They could just play Ezreal. I think Teddy's one of the best Ezreals at the tournament.
Gap, of course, is still only 1k, but as we mentioned,
But they gave him Varus.
where the gold is.
Why?
It does sit on Khan, but for G2, a lot
Especially if you want to play Nautilus. Mod is
Mod
gonna want to play Hook Champions. Mod is gonna want to play shit like Thresh. So give Teddy like Ezreal so Mod can actually pick the Hook Champions that he wants to play.
So, to give a small bit of context, as long as Faker doesn't try to all in here, Perkz randomly needed a name for his ult.
Hold that thought.
You're good.
Perkz randomly needed a name for his ult. He randomly found Umayan, thought it was cool, and it stuck. And then he climbed up solo queue so quickly, he started making these jokes about how Umayan is coming to revolutionize AD carry, and it stuck with the fans. That's why when people say Perkz deactivated, Umayan activated, they're talking about the
lore.
version of Perkz.
The
which
lore
just
of
seems
Umayan.
LEC memes for dummies with Vedius. The game starts at level 1, Vedius. That's the important.
That is
no
the
more
key.
farming and waiting for late in the world
Yes.
of Umayan.
And what we're seeing again actually is just SKT making a move for Ocean Drake and what looks to be G2 just trying to get lane pressure as much as possible. So this prioritization of CS and experience rather than a 17-minute Ocean Drake, which honestly isn't that beneficial for G2 one way or the other. It's really about how they've stayed in most of these games is through just good CS in the side. There's Faker.
Locked up, stunned down. That's a Kiana. That's what she does. Ignite.
Why don't you do this more?
Boom,
Why didn't people play to mid and jungle more? Oh, activate the Kiana.
The flash and the exhaust of Perkz to get it.
So we've been talking a lot about Perkz, but Faker is the player we need to bring everyone's attention back to, because as chat mentioned earlier on, this was a 2-0 Kiana that when you get those early items, you can be very potent. And hook lands.
That's going to be big damage. They don't have a wind wall to stop it. Easy.
There we go.
For the side of SKT.
And we're just seeing clean execution from SKT.
Wait, how did we not get a game 5?
Last game is now coming through, and
you're so ahead.
May have been everything that they needed.
On the right people also.
Incredibly close, and to further quote Jap from earlier, as long as we're taking turns.
Vlad decently ahead. Kiana ahead.
And Kiana is being played damn well by Faker. Surprise, surprise.
And he's now roaming all over the map. He doesn't need to have a high amount of CS if he's getting gold from killing the opponents. And I do want to spend a moment to credit Mata. This is such an unlikely substitution. When he got subbed in Game 3 of the Splice series, the consensus between most of us was, oh, that's just the skin game. Like, in case they're just gonna give him one because they're not worried about losing this series in case they actually make it all the way to the World Finals. What this is effort looked really bad in Game 3, and SKT needed a lifeline. And
Yasuo
so far,
falling behind on this item. Yasuo hates going this. Yasuo wants to go PD into IE and stuff like that. Yasuo, when he's forced to go stuff like Steric, is miserable.
SKT, we don't know what goes on in the comms. Mata is the second most experienced player on this SKT lineup to Faker. So it is a huge presence that he brings to the game that I think SKT is benefiting from in this Game 4.
And if he wins here, this would be his 50th international win for Mata. Historic player.
It's a lot of wins.
Yeah. Single-handedly redefined the Vision game. Now might single-handedly redefine SKT's chances in this series. G2 now move in. Mickey off to the side, trying to find the barrel. Forcing out the repel from Clid, but Perks is there as well. Now Wonders in the pinch. Caps is just getting cut down. The wind wall is not going to meet
Caps uses skill on.
Tries to buy a bit more time. Here comes Faker on the backside, but he's cut out by the Olaf. Mickey now coming in. Faker trying to go in and finish it up, but the stopwatches are there. But no, SKT still able to find.
Wait. What happened on left side? What the fuck?
It's not going to forcing SKT's chances in this series. G2 now move in.
Vlad
Mickey off to the side, trying to find the barrel.
Gragas wasted everything.
Perks is there.
Syndra wasted everything on. I think Khan played this a little greedy. Syndra wasted everything on Nautilus and had nothing. I think Khan can keep walking here and get like a Vlad ult that hits multiple people, but he's only going on single target Syndra. And then stopwatch. Oh my god, stopwatch blocks him from getting insta kill. Faker on this end. Wait! This monkey got one shot. Oh my god, he got one shot. Oof. They killed Yasuo for free.
The knockup coming through. Yankos runs for the hills, but it is not enough. Still, it's a back and forth fight. Such a close fight. Cap manages to sidestep. Click goes for the body step, comes out. Another stopwatch. Are you kidding me? The knockup is there. The shutdown is there.
Damn, Khan fucked up so bad.
G2's ability to out-teamfight SKT has been persistent throughout this series. There's probably about 15 really small interactions that happened in that fight that could have decided it, and G2 just had more of them.
Wow.
Fight was just
Cap stopwatch usage was so good and Khan was so greedy.
So many cool things happened.
Like, Syndra used everything on Nautilus. Yasuo was out of commission because he was fighting both the Elise and the Varus. And the people that are left, Olaf, Gragas was out of commission. So like, Vlad was in a spot where he could take over the team fight. And he wasted everything on Caps who had stopwatch.
A single replay is not going to do it justice, but let's see what we can do. Mickey and Perks start off by coming in from the flank, and an immediate response from Clid avoids the initial engage.
I think
Yankos did such a good job of holding Faker. But look at Khan here, you fucking troll.
Which would have just destroyed G2 against the wall with the Kiana ultimate. In fact, he basically wins the 1v1 against Faker down bottom.
But look at the ultimate that came out from Ornn on the top side. He completely cut Teddy and Clid off from the fight.
Boom, one shot.
This was actually a 4 versus 3 for the vast majority of the game. Clid then tries to dive on top of Caps, and it wasn't enough because Caps immediately flashes out, sidestepping the Q. Mickey nearly dies. The stopwatch just before he falls. Oh my god, what a team fight!
Damn.
Yeah, that's a 10.
Yeah,
I think that's such a good way to describe it. Whoever said Yankos was a bouncer, he's like a bouncer at a club telling Faker, nope. Nope. Nope, you're not allowed in here.
And Mata dies! Yeah, you cursed him.
Yeah, Gragas ultimate into death.
Wait, could this be Baron now?
They're very
think
strong.
about it.
You talked about this earlier, Vedis, but the win wall from Yasuo is massive at taking the Baron.
Also, Promise Q, why he's not excited is he hasn't played 2 group stage games. He hasn't played 1 quarterfinals game. He hasn't played a single game. The only way he can get a skin now is if he plays a game at finals. He cannot get a game. He cannot get a skin for this Worlds unless he plays a game at finals.
And mitigates so much of the threat, so much of the damage. Might still want that cooldown in the fights to come, but oh, here comes the Oran Horn. They're caught in the pinch. Mickey X can go forward. Faker invisible, wants to pull another grass blade, but this is massive. The Vladimir trying to strike back, but Faker's ult is not going to be effective. Khan now has to run for his life. Perks and Caps are still alive.
Wait, what
G2
the
has ult in pinch. Might still want that cooldown in the fights to come, but oh, here comes the Oran Horn. They're caught in the pinch. Mickey X can go forward. Faker invisible, wants to pull another grass blade, but this is massive. The Vladimir trying to strike back, but Faker's ult is not going to be effective. Khan now has to run for his life. Perks and Caps are still alive. G2 get 2 free for nothing.
Faker missed his Kiana ultimate in the jungle. So Khan is the one who's able to pick up a fight, but G2 get another advantage.
And you can
That was
hear
actually
the
so
crowd.
crucial. Wait. If he ulted properly...
Fights to come, but oh, here
Look
comes
at
the
Faker.
Oran Horn. They're caught in
Q,
the pinch.
he
Mickey X
stealth.
can go forward. Faker invisible, wants to pull another grass.
He E's like here. E probably on Caps. And then ult this direction. R. Oh, that would have been so good.
But this is massive. The Vladimir trying to strike back. But Faker's
He
ult
hit
is not
nothing
gonna be
instead.
effective. Khan now has to run for his life. Perks and Caps are still alive. G2 get 2 free for nothing.
Faker missed his Kiana ultimate in the jungle.
Afraid of
So
wind wall also. Actually,
Khan
that's true.
is the one who's able to pick up a fight, but G2 get another advantage.
And you can hear the crowd
Man,
round
it's crazy. G2 fighting in jungle and still dealing with Kiana ult.
behind G2. Yes, the early game was a little bit shaky. They found some advantages, they conceded some. But this team is momentum based. When they hear the roar of it, you can just see them performing at their absolute peak. And Chat, you said it. They are consistently out team fighting SKT. When I saw them in that jungle, I thought, oh, Faker's just gonna kill them all.
Wow, good try
Didn't
there.
come through, Mickey sidesteps, and now we reset once again. The gold is even once again.
Probably a blessing in disguise that didn't land for Mata, because Teddy and Mata were outnumbered if they would have gone into that jungle fight. But now, Faker back trying to push on mid-wave and SKT group around this Mountain Drake.
Do G2 have enough active members on the map to contest this Drake? I don't think it's the case. Mata waiting in the darkness. Yankos knows better than to step in.
SKT still have no control over Baron. So it's going to be really difficult for them to face check their way into this.
But this is where Kiana and Vladimir are at their most powerful. If they sniff out the G2 Baron and go into contest, it could be a one-shot kind of team fight. One shotgun shot to delete all of G2. But if they mess up, if they mis-execute, the Ornn will tear through this team.
Yeah.
Oh.
Beautiful pool. Good pool. Keep in mind, Windwall can also block Kiana ultimate, so Faker has to watch out for that.
Yeah, it can.
Flash in, just trying to get the knockup, forcing the flash away from Mata.
G2's are so on point. They know they have to make sure Kiana doesn't get the ult. They're very aware. Olaf either blocking. Oh. Ah, this Olaf. Oh my god, someone stop this Olaf. Oh, they actually still won. They actually still won without the Kiana. Stop getting grass element. Take water, Faker. Drink up water. Oh my god. Faker keeps holding grass instead of holding water. Holding water is so much more important.
As much time as he can, but it is not enough. That is the shutdown. SKT Baron in their sights.
And SKT successfully out.
Wow, how did they win that team fight with Faker not participating?
On point this time. They have 4 members alive. Mata is about to respawn. Can they steal this away, or will they concede it?
I mean, there is an ultimate for Yankos if we wanted to try.
G2 have yet to get a Baron this entire series. Is this the one that will turn it? Is this their Baron to get? Yankos with ultimate available. Won't get a chance. Deleted. Yankos next on the list. Caps TPing into his own death. SKT pulling back, giving him that respect. Clit now stepping forward. Caps manages to find the knockback. Wants to finish off with one kill. Will get the ultimate. So the heal is not enough. But here comes Faker.
Okay, he should still die.
But just gets to watch his own death in slow motion.
Okay, not bad.
Rampage.
And now it's G2 crumbling.
How did they lose this game? 4 dragons up 3k. You have Baron.
as the rest of SKT
How?
secure that objective. But let's look.
Alright, let's look. How did they die?
Locked on Faker down bottom, and he got zoned up by Olaf.
Oh,
We're not
Vlad.
focusing on this. We're gonna focus
Vlad went got
on
mode.
The Vladimir.
Yeah.
Getting all of the damage onto Caps. I don't think Caps' stop
Man,
was back.
Con stepping
from
up
the
and Faker
previous fight.
can't.
And then the turret shot is what actually follows Perks throughout the rest of the fight.
But also, Wonder did not use his ultimate onto Teddy. He used it onto the Nautilus. They overcommitted onto killing Mata, and that is not the target that you can afford to try and shut down.
And just, we look at the game state moments ago, it was this is even, this is dead, even, but now it's a 4K advantage to the side of SKT. They've got the Baron to back them up as well. Perks moving in on the top
This
side.
game should be so free.
Jankos is here.
Vladimir, fucking Fed AF.
Wonder stepping forward. This is a very fast Kiana. Caps on the way in.
What are you doing?
Certainly go down here.
What the fuck are you doing there?
Not enough. Caps sees it coming.
What?
Uses the ult and takes him out.
Again, Faker not in sync.
You have fucking Baron. What the f... Why is he even there?
Him up as well. Perks moving in on the top side. Another TP coming in. They're looking for a pick. Jankos is here
They're
too.
running.
Faker now retreating. Wonder stepping forward.
Flash the
This is a
wall.
very fast Kiana. Caps on the way in. Faker should certainly go down here, but he's incredibly fast. The flash out, not enough. Caps sees it coming, uses the ult and takes him out.
Again, Faker not in sync with the rest of SKT. This is the fourth game. SKT have had a Baron, a potential Baron power play, and then been unable to get their setup.
Uncharacteristic performance from
Oh
Faker.
my god.
Jack, you and I both expected extremely large things with the return of
Oh,
Faker to
SKT
World Championship.
Baron,
Both
SKT
winners
Baron,
of the
SKT
top
Baron.
We both expected him to perform, and this series against one of the best teams in the world, he has made mistakes. Yes, he's had some fantastic plays.
That's a big miss.
But is
Done
the rest
missing.
of SKT looking to fight?
Mickey potentially in trouble here.
I mean,
Caps coming in on the flank if he wants.
Con is bottom.
Yeah.
Perks is split pushing. This is the type of thing that G2 has been perplexing SKT with. They're pressuring lanes that SKT doesn't expect them to pressure, so it's pushing them into odd decisions. This time, it looks like they've made a pretty good call to just continue pushing bottom lane, and now Con resets, buys a pot. He's looking to try and find a massive team
He has a
fight.
death cap. He has a void staff. Con is incredibly powerful. Not level 16 quite yet, but otherwise everything going in his favor. All the AP he could ever want on this Vladimir. SKT have the tools to win the fight. They just need to find one in their favor. For now, it is the name of the game is the Siege. Can G2 hold on? Only reliable way clear is the Syndra. Perks can try to use the wind wall to buy a bit more time for mid lane tower.
Okay, okay.
Horn is just
Take
back
it
up
slow,
now.
take it slow. You guys have bot turret. Don't engage mid. Let him get bot turret. Double canyon bottom.
Onto that tower. The brace is
Let him
slowly
go.
being broken.
Keep pushing, keep
much
pushing.
further goes?
Don't let them engage. Don't let
Yeah,
them
that was a pretty
engage.
quick chunk.
Don't let them
Also,
engage.
Crimson
Oh,
Rush
oh,
out
oh,
there.
oh, oh, Con.
Timing
Oh!
off. That's going to be disaster.
That's going to be another inhibitor
Damn.
tower going
If they
down.
got that engaged, that would have been game changing.
Ulti's now going to come out. Con still on the side. Con still with ultimate up and available. Can't make his way into the back of this fight. Still, Mata goes forward. G2 is going to find one kill for now. The knock-up not quite there. Perks going in the midst of the team. Desperately wants to kill
Con.
Teddy, but it's not going to be enough. He's trying to dash through. But
No!
still they're burning him down.
Wait, Con died so easily.
He's trying. This is his moment. He wants to get the kill. Getting it done. Teddy! He buys more time, but he cannot secure the
Oh,
win.
Con almost had that.
Goes in. Jankos on
Also,
the
what
chase.
the fuck is going on with Faker? He's non-existent.
Turn and burn, but such a close exchange.
Can we get Rookie on
But
SKT,
G2
please?
still win the fight. Perks is struggling to have an impact in this game, but Caps and Jankos are doing such...
Oh, no Proto Belt, no Zanyev. No Proto Belt, no Zanyev. But what the fuck happened?
Disaster.
That's going to be another inhibitor tower going down.
Poke lands on a Wonder. Ulti's now going to come out.
All starting on Caps. That's hella
Con still on
good.
the side. Con still with ultimate up and
Faker
available.
right
Can't make his
here.
way into the back of this fight. Still, Mata goes forward. G2 is going to find one.
Oh, fuck. That's how Faker
Con
got
still
one
with
shot.
ultimate up and available. Can't make his way into the back of this fight. Still, Mata goes forward. G2 is going to find one kill for now.
Wait, no, he didn't get one shot. That's Clit getting one shot.
Quite there. Perks going
What?
into this fight.
What did you
Still, Mata
die
goes
to?
forward. G2 is going to find one kill
You went on
for now. The
Gragas.
knock-up not quite there.
WQE. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, there's some...
Still, Mata goes forward. G2 is going to find one
You went on the Gragas! Instead of
kill
Perks?
for
You blow up this wall. Blow up this wall. Kill Perks. Insta-kill the Yasuo.
The knock-up not quite there.
You got
Perks going in the midst of the team.
clapped.
Desperately wants to kill Teddy, but it's not going to be enough. He's trying to dash through, but they're burning him down. In the meantime, the fight is going back and forth. Teddy, he's trying. This is his moment. He wants to get the kill.
Wow, he was so irrelevant in that fight.
More time, but he cannot secure the win. Axe goes in. Yanko's on the chase. When the combo's back up for Quid, he could look to turn and burn, but such a close exchange.
Vlad no stopwatch, Faker into the
G2
leader.
still win the fight. Perks is struggling to have an impact in this game, but Caps and Yankos are doing such a great job. This team fight ultimately becomes around whether or not they can shut Khan down, and initially, after missing that engage, it felt like that this could have been disaster for G2, but then the re-engage comes through.
Disaster.
Exactly. Very odd start with Mata dying, only getting an unfollowed up knockup on Caps, and really,
W.
it's on Khan here. Mickey zones
No, no.
best he can. Faker gets an execute, and then here you're thinking, all right, can he absolutely get it done? And the stun timing by the rest of G2 just kind of shut him down. This is, it can't keep happening, you think.
Wow.
That SKT have a large goal lead, have a Drake advantage, have Baron, and get beaten to the setup by G2.
Caps was so good in that fight. The way in which his Q, E, electrocute combo pretty much one-shot Faker. That Kiana got obliterated, and because Khan used his pull early to avoid the stun, that then allowed Caps to use his ultimate onto the Vladimir. So these fights are so intense.
Christ.
We talked about how they're so execution-based.
And what is going
SKT a little bit slower.
Because they
Also, Khan, if you haven't bought stopwatch yet, please fucking buy stopwatch. For the love of God, if you haven't bought it once yet, he used it, right? There's no way he's not buying stopwatch when he didn't have it.
Their year is over. Faker would fail to make
Okay, he
his
used
first
it.
final at a world championship. They can't tilt against this G2 team who just
Yeah, the
looks
die bottom,
completely
you're right, die
untiltable.
bottom.
They have been so good at playing from the back foot. SKT will have an advantage, and immediately, rather than G2 waiting for something bad to happen, they make something good happen for themselves.
Those years of EUS solo queue coming into fruition against the powerhouse that is SKT. The Baron will be spawning in 30 seconds. This could be the fight, the objective, the place that determines the outcome of this series.
The upgraded Zanya is now coming in for Caps. One more level for Wonder, and he will be able to upgrade Perks as well, given the
Mata's
molten
on his
edge.
own.
Mata isolated. Mata caught out. Windwall comes in to stop, but he fall out. Mata knocked back into the wall, but here comes a massive Ornn fall.
Hold the wall. Hold
But
the
now they
wall.
can turn the fight. It's Khan on the flank. G2 need to get out of the pinch immediately, or they will go down. Mata's still alive. Mata is living through everything G2 have.
But SKT used the Varus and the Nautilus ultimate there, so it was just a 2-for-2 trade.
Wait,
with
I feel like they had such a good opportunity there.
Windwall comes in to stop, but he fall out. Mata knocked back.
Windwall dead, Windwall dead. Here, right here. Explode this wall.
Ornn fall up.
They're so scared.
But now they can turn the fight.
Explode the wall.
You need to get out of the pinch immediately, or they will go down. Mata's still
Windwall was done.
Mata
Windwall
is
was
living
done.
through
If you hit the wall like this and it explodes this way, it doesn't matter. The Windwall doesn't block it.
everything G2 have.
But SKT used the Varus and the Nautilus ultimate there, so it was just a 2-for-2 trade with the reset. The Baron setup continues.
The cooldown on Wonder's ultimate is at 45
I feel like you have to be
seconds.
way more
That's gonna be more than
opportunistic.
enough time for Mata to go back to base, reset, back out onto the map. He'll also be restocked on all of that vision. And the pings are coming down from Mata right now. He's saying, Ornn's ult is down, Ornn ult is down. Let's look for a fight because this is the best shot that we've got.
Caps at 50% mana should be fine for the fight to come, but Faker running forward. This is the movement.
No,
speed that Kiana
Faker, please.
can run
Not
forward.
Mountain, grab water.
Has to respect Caps, though. A single stun could result in the death.
Ornn upgrades also making G2 more powerful. 3,000 gold of value given just by Ornn being level 16.
Perks. Windwall comes out, but it's not going to stop the ultimate from going in. Perks has to flash out to safety. Mata hits the wall, not quite what he wants, but Khan steps forward.
That's
the
bad.
ulti down. That's the ulti down. Now G2 can look to turn the fight. Khan, huge healing coming back. On the back end
Oh
of
my
the
god, they
Faker
use so
now steps
much.
forward. Faker now gets taken out. Faker,
What?
no! Faker is dead. Into that ultimate.
How'd you get in there? Why are you even in there?
Huge healing coming back. On the back end of that ultimate. Faker now steps forward. Faker now gets taken out. Faker, no! Faker is dead! What was that? Now the rest of the team stepping forward. G2 looking to close this fight out. Perks throwing the wind wall over. Tornado comes in, Winwall the block. Clid now taken down. This should be G2's first Baron of the series if they can find it. Clid deleted. Caps unstoppable. G2 on the cusp of making it to finals.
Faker dies in what was the most important team fight of this series. The
Oh my
Baron
God.
in the eyes of G2.
At least he got that pink ward.
The smite is not available. G2 Esports come back once again. They will secure their first Baron of the series, and SKT is now on the back foot.
Comeback after comeback for G2, and again, Faker can't find what he needs. He flashes for it. The root node.
What is this player?
Can't find what he needs.
What the fuck is this player? He reacted to flash ER. He flash EQR.
Again, Faker can't find what he needs.
What the fuck is this fucking player? Jesus fucking Christ.
He flashes for it. The root node. The root gets blocked. Yes, it's stunned, but the burst is decreased.
Yes.
And the Sterix also keep.
What the fuck is that player?
Khan was ready to follow up with a full engage. Now that
Jesus
they're down both
fuck.
ultimates, SKT have to run away, and G2, they got the Orn Horde. They're ready to go back for it. Faker
Oh
is
my
trapped.
God.
He's down flash. He tries to go invisible, but he's
My
he's
autofill
out.
bot lane versus your autofill bot
Faker
lane.
had no escape options. His flash was down. He wanted to re-engage, but his team was not there. And you could see the frustration. His hands are shaking. He realizes the consequences of his actions. And now it is G2 with the Baron buff. There is still a lot of SKT's base that they have to go through. By no means does this mean that the game is won. All it means is that the game goes back to even.
But it can be won with one good team fight. G2 have been the ones preventing SKT from converting their
Oh, I
Baron
feel so
plays.
sad.
Now they can convert their own. They have the Ornn, they have the Gragas, they have so many initiation tools, and SKT have just been out of sorts. They're throwing ultimates left, sideways, unable to connect on this beautiful team of G2, as now G2 try and make it to the finals.
Pressure mounting, Perks bringing in the minions in the mid lane. Faker waiting in the darkness, hoping to get something done. Yomu's popped. We'll be able to back
Outscaled,
away,
Varus doesn't matter, Vlad is the only champion that matters,
Not
Zanya's
ideal.
way
Would
too
like to have
late.
that in the fight with Caps in the future, but just hoping, desperately hoping to get that pick onto Perks. The cusp of elimination for SKT. FPX, G2, SKT, those were the favorites. One of them will go home today. Perks pushes in, he breaks the tier 2. This could be the final fight. Khan zooming in, he has the home guards, he's ready to go at a moment's notice. For now, just trying to clear the waves.
And SKT doesn't even have flank wards. They kind of just have to sit here and absorb G2 and hope they don't get engaged on, because a straightforward initiation doesn't work into Ornn and a Yasuo Windwall.
The pull just gets used from Khan. He's back to base. This is going to mean that the bot tower is exposed. G2 are going to be able to break into the base. Bear in mind, they have 2 exposed inhibitors themselves. If SKT find a big fight, they're looking for Perks.
Faker fishing for the flank. Windwall comes through. Perks still alive, right in the midst of the Windwall.
Fuck that Windwall skill.
That's the knockup. He could get the reset, but no. Missed
They're
time.
getting
His
bot
execution
side.
from G2 costs him his life.
Yeah,
That's the
4v5.
shutdown. Now
They
have
can't
to
get
retreat. Now
anything
Khan
more.
can look
This
for
isn't
that
too
fight,
bad.
but instead SKT will just call a stop to the action.
So Perks gives up his life, but it does mean that G2 can secure the bot in him. The question is, with 5 members alive for SKT, and with a 40-second death timer on Perks, can SKT convert this into inhibitors of their own?
Can they convert it into an end? Their team fight is incredibly strong.
Look at this as well. They're doing the mountain to open up the Elder Drake as a potential win condition. We've seen G2 win every single one of these fights, which means that if they can force a fight around this Elder, this time they should be able to win.
G2 can now step forward, but it's Faker once again waiting in the darkness. Grass blade, not the water blade, but out
Okay,
comes the
okay.
Ornn. Caps fishing for 1 or 2 minutes. They might not want to take the fight, but they do. They're still going to go in 4v5.
4v5, no Yasuo. This is your opportunity.
Is not going to connect.
Get a pick here, if you can get a pick here.
Secure
Get a pick here, get a pick here.
Oh, he messes up the execution.
Baits it out though. Clid had to go up into the air, and it doesn't matter if he messed it up because
Okay, Vlad on top, Vlad on top.
Caps goes golden. There's no one else to follow up. Khan's damage doesn't matter.
Okay, stopwatch blocked, stopwatch blocked. Just need one more person for Syndra. Oh, there's not one more person for Syndra. That's over, that's over. Fuck, there just needed to be one more person going on Syndra there. Just needed one fucking more person. Oh, that's game. It's fucking game. Just needed one more person to go on Syndra with Khan. Oh.
In the history of League of Legends, taken down by the greatest team Europe has ever produced. FPX, get ready.
Poor Clid.
G2 is heading to Paris.
I just think EU got lucky this year. They didn't have to play any NA teams in quarterfinals. Jesus Christ.
This G2 esports team was not built to win. It was built to conquer.
Damn, but G2 is so well balanced across the board.
So many obstacles. They had to fight every Korean team.
They're actually
all the way
so
here.
fucking good across the board.
Griffin in groups, Damwon in quarters, and the ultimate final boss of SKT.
And Faker was so irrelevant in the last game.
Them all. G2 now make their way.
Faker was
towards the
so
World
irrelevant.
Finals, and they will go up against FPX.
And every single one of those games.
All they had to do was play towards mid jungle. They never did it. Bot lane was bleeding so much from the start. Theirs was worthless.
The screen in every single game. The way that G2 came together.
Jesus Christ.
As a team. They were down in all those games.
They're just so much better as a team, and they play the game better. They know how to snowball better.
What makes them
They play across the map better.
didn't happen with
But
this G2
there's two standout players at Worlds. There's two standout players at Worlds for G2. Caps and Perks have just been on another level. G2 overall as a team are better than every other team, but Caps and Perks have been such standout players.
And how can you not be happy if you're a G2 fan after a series like that? Once again, taking a win over SKT.
Incredible series. And this G2 team definitely wasn't built overnight. They were the more experienced team than SKT. You actually saw that, and it's backed up in the stats. There were 200 Worlds games.
They were way more
on the G2 roster
experienced when it came to pressure situation.
And I think time and time again, when something went wrong in the mid game, G2 didn't let it phase them.
I also think this is the first time where Faker has failed SKT.
Only European player to attend back-to-back Worlds.
Anytime SKT loses, like a best of 5, I never feel like Faker failed them, but this is the first time where I feel like Faker failed them. Wow, Faker had a bad series versus Splice, and then he had another bad series versus G2. He had 2 bad best of 5s in a row. Jesus Christ.
Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. I'm here.
Muchas gracias. Thank you very much.
Caps, tell me what was going through your mind when you killed that final Nexus and what it means to go to your second straight world final after beating SKT.
So today was just crazy, honestly. I think especially this last game, we were so far behind and we were really taking one kill at a time, trying to get our way back. And we've managed to get it in the end when we got the quadra kill on Yasu and the TP into the base. Yeah, I'm just happy.
Right now, whenever you do the interview, your brain is overloaded. Caps can barely speak. His brain is so overloaded and happy.
I hope you can hear me, but I'm glad you brought it up because those games were so
Clid.
incredibly close, and it seemed many times you guys had to fight your way back. Tell us about the pressure in these games.
What are they chanting? Oh, SKT?
Thank you guys.
MVP?
I'm not really sure what you said, but
Tell me about the pressure about playing these games.
MVP
because
is
they look
perked.
so incredibly
My MVP is
close,
still
and it could
perked.
be anyone's game at any moment.
I think SKT looked really strong going into this game, so we were really nervous. Obviously, we played against them before, and obviously playing against
Janko's got it for the
was always a
series.
bit nervous for me. So we just wanted
Really?
to do our best, and we managed to win it in the end. So
Really? Huh.
Now, Caps, last year you were in a similar.
He did say
league.
top lane.
You also fought your way all the way to the finals.
But
and unfortunately for you and for Fnatic back then, it was a disappointing fight versus
He saved
IG.
Camille from homelessness.
How different are you coming into these World Finals, and how poised are you to take home the Summoners Cup on home soil?
So we have 1 week left of Worlds, and we're just gonna try our best. I was like a bit sick this week, so I promised my team that if they carry this today, then I'll take care of next week. So I'm just gonna show up, and then I'm gonna send Fun Plus Remix back home.
Damn.
Caps, final words. I'm going to give you the opportunity to talk to the crowd, who were very loud once again. Perk said last week, when you're so loud, it's hard to concentrate. But what can you tell them, and how can you thank them for their support?
Thank you guys for the support. Don't forget to subscribe to twitch.tv/Locodoco and support G2.
Honestly, I played Madrid 3 times now, and the crowd is always crazy. Like, Paris has like a big step to go if they want to compete against you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Caps, and congratulations. And now please put your hands together for your 2019 World Championship finalists, G2 Esports and FPX.
Wow. Amazing series from G2. Just, these guys have the clutch factor. These guys know how to play from behind. Like, these guys are so well balanced. There isn't a weak link. I mean, we can talk about Wonder being a weak link in this series, but he's going to step up next time. Like, even when there are people faltering, G2 is just so solid, and their teamwork is good. That's something that just never gets praised enough, their teamwork being insane. I hope you guys enjoyed this VOD review, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Bye!